It is the 41st millennium. Somewhere out there, a great treasure has been lost to the expanse once more. The legendary Dread Pearl, a treasure planet said to contain the wealth of 30 systems combined, has vanished once more behind the veil of the Immaterium. Before the veil fell, however, a valiant house of the Imperium of Man managed to reach it. The noble trade dynasty of House Silverwind. First to the prize, and first out the door. The crew of the Velvet Glove have managed to find the legendary treasure planet after a grueling endeavor that took them to far-off reaches of known and unknown space, carrying the plunder of the world that is now lost to all but the Eldar. In their flight from this world, they've stumbled upon an previously unknown star system in the Cronus Expanse. One that appears to show signs of life at one point. But whether that life was human, alien, or unknown is simply that. Unknown. Furthermore, you now contain your cargo holds are full of plundered gems and treasures looted from the Dread Pearl. And another kind of treasure. Humans, not yet indoctrinated to the Imperial truth. The Santark natives of the Dread Pearl have been ripped from their home and exiled by force. Many of them have decided to go with you, because the alternative, well, no one wants to think about the alternative. But the point is, your ship is straining to support so many people. Normally, the Velvet Glove has a rather sizable crew of, if I recall correctly, about... Oof, I've lost track of the population when I updated the Ship Hub channel.
36,000, I think, for a normal Dauntless cruiser.
A bit more than that, it's like twice that.
I might be thinking of frigates. Hold on, I can pull it up.
It's fine, don't worry about it. Either way, your ship is full. There is an entire star system of uncharted and untapped potential in front of you.
65k crew, roughly.
Exactly, thank you.
On an average ship.
So now, as the Velvet Glove hovers over a verdant and lush world of this star system, our heroes plot and chart their next course. Now, switching over to music to something, actually, we can go without music for a bit. So, oh, I see someone updated the Game Room channel to say, sorry, Diego, for the crimes that will be committed. I don't know how to break it to you guys, but you can't really... You guys have legal protection from most crime.
Including, like, murder.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. One of the perks of the warrant to trade is you basically have legal immunity for a large number of crimes and offenses.
Pretty much anything but heresy and actively going against the Imperial, agenda.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, parking violations, you guys can pretty much get scot-free.
Yeah, parking violations, murder, occasional petty theft, as long as it's not really of Imperial, from Imperial ships.
Of course, you guys do have a reputation to keep, so you kind of need to grease a few palms with some extra thrones once in a while. You know, a bribe or two.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're, for the most part, you guys are untouchable, but that does not mean you're invincible.
Yeah, which means that you can't go around committing blatant techno-heresy.
Speaking of techno-heresy...
I feel like I'm being called out here.
Speaking of techno-heresy, everyone turned to... Wow, we're on page 60 of the slides.
My god.
And this is after I trimmed a few extra slides we didn't really need.
Oh, chunky.
Yeah, but let's be honest. The Lure of the Expanse is a very location-rich endeavor.
Yeah, it's got a lot of stuff in it.
We need
But
a lot of
hey, you
battle maps
guys.
to shoot the shit.
But hey, if I didn't tell you guys this before, I'm still impressed with how well you did, because you guys met all the objectives and made extra.
Fuck yeah.
And
Yeah.
that is taking into account you guys skipped like 2 or 3 locations.
We did.
We're
Oh, yeah, we
cool.
did.
Ooh.
Yeah, but you can always go back to those later. Don't worry about it.
No,
Okay.
fuck the processional. Fuck the processional. Nuh-uh.
I want to
Nuh-uh.
go. I want to go to processional.
Nuh-uh.
What's
Well,
wrong
I was
with
also-
you?
I was also talking about like Sabrine.
Oh, well, yeah, that's fine. But no processional of the damned. Absolutely not.
Fair enough. So, Ark.
Yes.
Normally I would have a "what are you guys doing" moment at the start of these sessions, but we're gonna get right into it. Ark, you said you had trade astromancy, correct?
Astrography, yes.
Astrography, right. Okay. So combined with that, I also need Tam to roll a
Yes.
test for me.
Navigation stellar, I'm assuming.
Yes, I need you two to figure out where you are specifically.
Great. Trade is based on intelligence, which I just bonked up to 62 in this last level up.
Right.
That is a natural 8.
Ooh, nice.
Intelligence. Oh, okay. Let me
Uh,
go over to the dice channel.
Yep.
8. Oh, I guess you take that.
And let me just pull up a reference character sheet so that I know what's going on. 5 degrees of success. Nice.
Ah!
Okay, so this is probably going to be something that
Octus!
Octus can take care of, but Ark, you're able to more or less chart where you are based on the positioning of the stars. From the looks of it, you are, let's see, not near the Heathen Stars, but you're somewhere you're in a coreward direction of the 100 Teeth.
Oh, okay, we are way far away from where we started then, looking at a map of the expanse.
But you're somewhere south of Winterscale's realm.
Yeah, like I said, wow, we're way far away from where we started. Okay.
From the looks of it, you could be near a area of the...
Cauldron?
It says, from the looks of it, you may be somewhere in the vicinity of the Unbeholden Reaches and the Foundling Worlds.
Oh, holy shit. Okay, we're way farther south than I thought.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Ark
However,
kinda...
however, this does mean you're in a rather advantageous position to get to Footfall.
Yes, we're like...
The problem is that you need to chart a course that can avoid the Cauldron and the Cineris Maleficum.
And
which
the
will
God
be-
Emperor's Scourge.
Which will be a job for Octus, considering Tam failed the test.
Yeah, so Ark kind of, as he's, referencing star maps and pretty much, is doing a couple sketches on his data slate. Captain Grant.
Grant right now, he is currently reviewing a couple of stuff of like the logistics of like we got to get rid of these people really soon, and he goes yes as he turns away from his data slate.
I've figured out, well, 2 orders of business. First, I think I've figured out roughly where we are. And the answer is, extremely, extremely far south from our original destination. We overshot Footfall. How do I put this? He kind of basically pulls up a map of the expanse and, circles, like, basically the area where the Foundling Worlds and Unbeholden Reaches intersect down in the south section. We're somewhere down here. Effectively, we jumped, the entirety of Footfall's sector south. That being said, as long as Octus can chart a course that will get us around the God Emperor's Scourge and the Cauldron, we should be able to make it back to Footfall fairly easily.
Okay.
Second order of business.
Yes.
Our lovely explorator made an accidental attempt on my life the other day.
What was it this time?
Rigged up fireworks in my desk drawer. If I hadn't noticed the fuse, I wouldn't have a head.
I wouldn't have done that much damage.
Out of context, yes, fireworks do that much damage.
I'm aware of that.
Thank you, Will, for giving me the updated character sheets. I appreciate that.
I would, but
Alright.
my Wi-Fi on my laptop isn't fucking working.
That's fine. Shit, that's not what I wanted to do. Whatever. Okay, yeah, no, this works. This works. Okay, yeah. So you know where you are. Octus is trying to figure out how to get back home. What is the next thing I need to take care of? Right. I need someone to go through the archives of the ship and figure out this planet's been documented before.
Can I actually do that? Because I have a +10 to my lore Imperium.
Actually, this would be Lore Imperium. Go for it.
Alrighty, cool.
Hang on. I need to double check what the bonuses of the ship have, because if
I'm putting this in Rogue Trader Central. This is currently where the pink box in the bottom is roughly where the fuck we are.
that doesn't.
Okay.
Have a no. You guys do not have a trophy room. No, a librarium. That's what I meant to say. You guys don't have a fully fledged librarium component.
Okay, we just gotta go back to football and upgrade the fuck out of our ship then. But
Well,
But you can make the test. So just do it regular with the +10 bonus. Oh, you got a 16.
Yep. So right now my intelligence is 65. So, or wait, is it not? Wait. No, intelligence is 55. So yes, mine will be a 65 for the DC test.
4 degrees of success then.
Okay, so Will, you scour through the documents made available to you, and one of the things you know is that the cognizance fleets of the Adeptus Mechanicus that like to fly through this neighborhood have very, very, very meticulous records of all the planets they document. You know, not just geological surveys, but also like exact, the composition of like the stars, gravitational patterns of the worlds, local cosmic phenomena, resources. Just like very deep level analysis of each system they've been to. For further things and further exploitation. You find cursory references to this exact star system. No, you read that one of the cognizance fleets visited this system approximately 300 years ago.
Okay.
But only as like a temporary pit stop. Like they did not stay. They did not leave behind even a station to observe the system, because standard MO of the cognizance fleet does sometimes include just dropping off a one-man space station just to keep an eye on the system for, future reference. They didn't even do that. They were in a rush to get somewhere else. Who's playing music?
Oh, I thought I could. I'm currently doing this as background music for the recording. I thought it might be thematically appropriate. If not, we could just disconnect it. Your call, boss.
We can keep it for now. I was just confused.
Yeah, I just have Starship Ambience playing on my end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you realize that the cognizance fleet that charted this system only stayed long enough to get a cursory, scan of the place, head count of how many planets there are, and a name. The system you're in is called Pranox.
Pranox.
Can I delete the Suxina the Aquila that's over the name of the system?
I can take care of that myself. Let me just scroll up to the thing. Pranox, with 2 N's. Apparently, the leader of this cognizance fleet that visited this place was Pranox 32. a Magos who was in charge of a Magos who held a considerable rank aboard an Arc Mechanicus. He apparently was the one who discovered that this system had planets in it, because he was the one manning the auger relays when it happened. The system and all of its planets were named in honor of him. Doubly so after Pranox was said to have suffered a terminal case of all life functions ceased.
Oh.
The records don't go into great detail about what happened to Pranox 32 or what happened to the Cognizance fleet. It just has the record saying Cognizant. You don't even know which Cognizance fleet it was. Just the AdMech was here. They named the place, and they left for whatever they were looking for.
Okay.
So
is it able to clearly differentiate they left on their own accord, or did they discover something and they fled?
From the looks of it, they didn't stick around long enough to find anything worth running away from. Apparently, they were on the look for something else, and whatever that thing was major priority for them. They just left the system because they had bigger fish to fry.
Alrighty. So, Grant is going to come back as he's basically has like a pair of reading glasses, and he approaches Ark. He goes, "Looks like we guys pay a visit to our explorator." And speaking of, you said that you could have lost your arms or a particular limb in any of this excursion?
No, easily. He kind of basically pulls up a photo on the data slate of, basically after he snipped the fuse. What was in there? This amount of explosives not only would have wrecked all the Administratum documents in my office, but my person as well. Especially given I wasn't wearing my armor at the time, because I wasn't prepared to have an assassination attempt in my own office. And before you ask, how did you know it was cadmium? He flips, he basically, scrolls, one through the camera roll to take a picture of a note.
And as it happens, it goes, "Is there anyone else?"
Anyone else
Who would
involved?
attempt? So anyone else who would attempt to mess with you? You're the seneschal.
Oh, I'm sure at least someone would want to kill me, just because there's bad apples in a large Imperial ship all the time. But, given he wrote me a note, and that's definitely Cadmium's handwriting.
Well, I did find this as I hold up a very, very old, ancient text where it goes, "Team building," and on the bottom it says, "For dummies." So it goes, I found this in the library too. Gonna probably peruse through it, see what it has to say.
Interesting.
Half the pages fall out. So it's gonna be a bit of an incomplete read, but I'll figure it out. Anyways, let's go play a visit to Cadmium.
Sounds good.
At this, the trade colonel speaks of, Lord Captain, we shall endeavor to continue scanning the area, though I do note that there is something of note in the system that may require your attention. For now, we are...
Oh, sorry.
For now, we are holding position over the planet designated Pranox Alpha.
Alright.
We shall...
oh, sorry.
I shall await your command before giving additional instructions to the crew, sir.
Sounds good. Then from... Or I go... so I go, good. And then from there I go, come on, let's go.
Yes, sir.
So where is, Cadmium in all this?
Does anything currently need attending or fixing?
I'm guessing you do, because you're currently having mechadendrites implanted onto you, correct?
Yeah, so he's probably wherever that is with
Coming out of surgery?
With Mr. My roommates have designated him a Tumblr sexy man key during Handross.
So you're in the quarter of the ship usually set aside for the AdMech to do their AdMech stuff. And they have a fully converted surgery suite in order to, fix and install implants to the faithful. Currently, you're laying face down on a big table, clamped down, restrained, your back carved open like a circus of meat, as Kadrian Handros is literally working your, spine implants in order to begin the process of installing one of your mechadendrites. This is a days-long process because, the AdMech have to pray as they do every little bit of the installment process.
They're very fun like that.
As you're face down and Kadrian Handros is chanting rhythmically in the Technolingua, the door opens and comes in Captain Grant, who you would be pretty happy to see under normal conditions, and a very unamused Ark, who's standing next to him as the two enter. Kadrian Handros looks from his work and says, "Greetings, Rogue Trader entity. You interrupt sacred technological procedure to begin installment of holy and blessed mechadendrites. To what do I owe this pleasure?"
Grant's gonna go. We're currently entering a. This is a solar system, right, or a galaxy?
Solar system. This is a planetary system.
We're currently entering a solar system that was once visited by AdMech in the past, named Pranox. We're here to discuss what we can our next move.
He nods and extends a very snake-like mechadendrite for the data slate containing this relevant information.
I offer it to him.
He takes it and begins uploading the contents onto his person.
Yeah.
Cadium looks, while laying on the table, he looks incredibly bored. Assuming to make this easier, his arms are just like on a different table because it's probably easier to hold it to clamp him down without them.
Yeah.
So his arms are just like disconnected from him, like on a separate table. And he just looks bored and he goes, "Oh, hi, boss."
Hi, Cadium.
You might not want to look at me too much. I do unfortunately still have blood.
I've seen worse.
I'm sure you have.
Out of game. Let's see. For this next bit, I'm going to do. Let's see. Has the guy got done downloading the info yet, or is he still processing?
He's pretty much done looking through it as he turns to you. "This knowledge is not known to us. The Cognizance fleet in question covered all tracks of their movements centuries ago. We believe they were on a secret mission from the Holy Priesthood of Mars. The laity were forbidden from knowing exact details. However, cursory analysis of this document confirms this was discovered by Magos Pranox 36.
Right.
As it stands, this system has not been categorized as inhabited. It is of low interest. However, cursory analysis indicates high presence of abundant natural resources.
We are running low on that.
Only Pranox Alpha has been designated a sustainable, life-bearing planet. Other planets in this system have been deemed unsuited for human colonization efforts. However, they may contain resources of note and interest.
Good to know.
Curiously, an unidentified object was detected in this system, no?
Yes, it was.
This object is not noted in this report.
Oh, looks like we gotta investigate it, make it worth our while. After we will currently also scout the planet. If it's habitable enough, we could definitely drop off the what were they called again?
The Santarks.
The Santarks. We can drop off the Santarks and then establish a trade negotiation.
Adrian Handros does a very weird shimmering dance with his mechadendrites, which you recognize as a AdMech gesture of agreement.
Mm-hmm.
He also bows his head slightly as he says, "Several of my Lex Mechanics and Technomats can be deployed onto planet surface to begin process of erecting domiciles and habitable structures for the Santarks."
See to that is done.
He nods. Prefabricated structure materials have been found aboard the ship's cargo hold.
Mm-hmm.
It should be rudimentary to begin process of colonizing planet. However, establishment of long-term colonization efforts and structures will require significant investment and support.
Recommend enough to get the. We'll just do enough to get the Santarks on their feet. Other than that, everything else is going to be on their own.
He nods. Further assistance can be rendered from Opticon 22, noted member of the Brotherhood of Mars. He is on Footfall, coordinating supply and logistics for Cognizance fleets, active in the Coronos Expanse.
We'll pay them a visit.
He nods again. Is there anything else you require? This process, surgery, implantation, requires time.
How much time?
He gestures down towards where Cadium is. Cadium, I need you to roll me a 2d10 minus 6.
Okay. 2d10 minus 6. 9.
He looks, kind of shrugs. 9 days.
A 9-day process?
He nods. It is a very delicate procedure. This process could be accelerated were it occurring in a fully equipped Adeptus Mechanicus facility. However, Tech Brother Cadium insisted immediately on installation of the mechadendrite.
Cadium.
Yeah.
You do good work.
Thanks.
But you also tend to take your interactions with my Seneschal too far. So, what I would like to propose is that you take a few days off. 2 days to be exact.
Cadium, he looks up at you and he blinks, and he kind of just goes, two days off.
Mm-hmm. You'll be given plenty of rations and a space for you to occupy your mind as your arms are currently being further developed.
I'm sorry, my what? My arms?
Your arms.
Did you mean the mechadendrites?
All
Boss?
Arms.
Cadium makes a Windows error noise with his mouth. He literally just makes a Windows error noise, and he kind of shakes his head and he goes, "I'm sorry, what?"
So yes, you earn some time off. Once you understand what you currently have done in your activities, and these pranks that essentially has almost come to personal attacks, speak to me and Ark at the same time. You are dismissed. I turn to the other AdMech expectantly, for him to follow through with my current actions.
Kadrian Handros gives a nod and a whirl of his mechadendrites and goes back to implanting the mechadendrites into Cadium. He lowers his head towards where Cadium can hear, and in very scathing technolinguist says, "You embarrass us in front of the laity."
Ooh.
Cadium just plops his head back on the table, and he looks incredibly embarrassed.
Implantation of mechadendrites shall commence shortly. Do make yourself comfortable, Cadium. This will take time and precision. You hear the whirring of a drill start up as your implants are slowly removed in order to begin the process of,
Wait, does he actually have to remove Cadium's entire cyber mantle?
Skid sent me an image of a new and updated cyber mantle for Cadium.
Yeah.
So
no.
this is basically Cadrian removing it and installing the new one.
Oh,
And no-
And he was
funky.
about to become jelly.
Because the new one can support more mechadendrite implants, which is what Cadium wants.
AK more weight.
Yeah.
Because his
Because of
current
his weight.
one... Yeah, because of his weight. Because of the weight that the mechadendrites are going to add, because then he'll be 300 pounds, and he, his current one's not built for that.
He's one step closer to being the giant mechanical monstrosity that is Cadrian Handros.
Yeah, except he still somehow has his skin. Don't worry, we're not going to worry about it.
Handros also has skin.
Where?
If I remember correctly, his hand.
Oh.
His left hand specifically is still organic.
Oh, yeah. Looking at art, yeah, it's just very gray.
Yeah.
He is about like 200 years old.
Homie loves the good flesh. Just a
Yeah.
little bit of flesh is good for the soul, I suppose.
So, I assume Grant and Ark are making their way back up to the bridge.
Yes.
Yep.
As you go up back to the bridge, you see some of the huddling masses, the tired and the poor of the Santark population you rescued. They're all looking kind of rough. Not just because, they're in the void ship for the first time in their lives, but also because their entire way of life has been revealed to be a unfortunate lie.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them thought they were in heaven. Now they're inside a void ship that is cramped, very claustrophobic, dark, kind of damp in some parts, and also they're basically strangers in a strange land.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them recognize Imperial iconography scattered throughout the ship, but it is wrong on some degree. And, they're all doing pretty rough. Some of them are coughing pretty roughly, which is an alien sensation to them, by the way.
Yeah, they're not used to recycled air
Disease.
and disease. Yeah, they have no immunity, huh?
They, surprisingly enough, do, but it's clocked in overtime due to the new conditions.
Yeah.
Life on Lille Fionad really screwed them up. Fortunately, you see that some of your enforcers, including the Vox operator who was on the surface of Fionad,
Mm-hmm.
you see a lot of your crew are also helping the Santarks, like, bringing them water, rations, blankets. Your crew is doing a good job of going out of their way to help the Santarks, but you can tell this is an unsustainable situation. The Santarks need a new home,
Mm-hmm.
because from the looks of it, not a lot of them are going to be willing to stay aboard your ship as crew.
Oh yeah, they made it quite clear by now.
Yeah. However, when you pass by, Grant, a number of them recognize you the same way an Imperial citizen would look at, say, a Sister of Battle or a Space Marine. They look at you as if you were a living saint. Yes, the flight home was necessary to their survival, and it has been a rough transition, but you were the one who, offered your hand in getting them off planet. So a lot of them look to you with very subdued gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
If they were in any better condition, they would probably be running up to you and asking you to name their kid, basically.
Mm-hmm.
That is the level of devotion they're gonna feel towards you if they didn't feel like absolute shit.
Right.
However, it is still there, that sense of loyalty.
Oh, okay.
And, of course, gratitude. As you make it up to the ship, you can see the trade colonel, Sebastian Gaylord August, on the ship, and he's with High Factotum Bennington Valdane and Aurel Graves, the head administrator of your vessel. They're deep in conversation, and when you approach the bridge, they all give the honorary salute of the Aquila.
Mm-hmm.
Lord Captain, I have with me the High Factotum and the High Administrator of the ship.
Okay.
We've been...
Okay.
I'm sure by now you've made yourself aware of the situation with the Sandtalks.
Very aware.
Well, as you can infer, keeping them on the ship is not a sustainable solution in the long run. However, we can't simply just dump them off on a planet and leave them be to their own devices. Aurel, why don't you take over for me? Aurel Graves, red-robed, parchment of paper running down the length of her body, staff at hand, single red eye, looks to you and says, Lord Captain, I'm sure you know by now that this is a very delicate situation. Most of all can be traced to the fact that these Santarks do not worship a orthodox interpretation of the Imperial Creed. I've conversed at length with Archdeacon Osmond, and he and I have reached the same conclusion. These people will need to be re-educated, or made to more... How do I put this? We cannot legally keep them around as they are.
Mm-hmm.
They are not technically considered citizens of the Imperium, and they do not worship or recognize the Imperial truth.
Mm-hmm.
By Imperial law, we are required to either show them the correct way of being a member of the Imperium, or she kind of falters in her speech, and this is when the High Factotum Valdane steps in and says, or we need to kill them all, basically. A standard operating procedure for, rogue traders. We find an indigenous population of humans who aren't aligned with the Imperium. We either bring them into the fold or we wipe them out off the map. Unfortunately, these Santarks... Well, we need to figure out what to do with them, because if word gets out that we took on a bunch of refugees that technically weren't Imperial citizens, of uncomfortable questions may be asked, and Aurel Graves jumps in. I suggest we leave them with some form of guidance.
Okay. Can you elaborate?
Archdeacon Osmond has volunteered to go down with the Santarks onto the planet's called Pranox Alpha, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
While we help them get back up on their feet, Osmond has volunteered to tend to their spiritual needs, show them the truth of the Emperor of Mankind, and hopefully convert them to the Imperial truth. It will be a difficult process, yes. However, we have found that, based on what we have gleaned from their habits, it shouldn't be too hard. They've already are descended from loyal stock of the Imperium, so convincing them of the teachings of the Emperor of Mankind should be a relatively simple process.
Okay then. So, we leave them with a missionary and let them do their work, and then we eventually come back to check up on them. Once they've proven to be more loyal followers, we'll begin assisting in their development.
At this point, the trade colonel steps up and says, And of course, there is one other matter we should discuss.
Okay.
Do you wish to claim this planet and its system for the Silverwind Dynasty? And if so, what should the colony look like? I needed to remind you that currently we have no presence in this corner of the expanse. And although we do have some holdings scattered across the Cronus expanse, we are in a somewhat advantageous position, my lord. As the first official presence of the Imperium here in 300 years, we have essentially first calling and dibs on what to do with this world and the others in the system.
Mm-hmm.
Essentially, if we were to establish an official presence here, we would need to garner lots of material supports, figure out what we want to use the planet for, and begin the process of colonization, essentially. Of course, this is very big picture stuff, and your Seneschal and I can work out some of the finer details, such as acquiring labor and resources. But before we can do anything of the sort, we should investigate the system. The Cognizance Fleet's report isn't comprehensive, unfortunately.
Right. So
He looks to you and awaits your response, as does the other two.
what's the current food situation like in the nearby solar systems?
Currently, we are near a... let's see. We're near a death world. We are actually quite short of a agro world. Nitharis, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And a couple of jumps away from Hyanister's world, one of our own agro world holdings.
So we're quite the distance away then.
Closer than you think, but not as close as we would like. We can't support the Santarks we can't support the Santarks in the long term, and even once we get rid of them, or relocate them, I should say, our food situation isn't exactly looking so great either. We did resupply on the secret world our dear friend Zeva showed us, but again, most of our food supplies were consumed quite rapidly over the last couple of days due to the Sandhawk situation.
Right. So, what I propose is that upon further scans of the planet, we would convert it, so we will colonize it as an agri world. Everyone needs to eat, and we already know about planet Zaith requiring food storage as well. We can often use that as a means of actually doing mainstream trade. So if we could turn into an agri world, that's what I'm going to. So that's what I would like the planet to be made for.
He nods. Are you sure you don't want to make it into your throne world? We have, as we speak, Octus should be charting a course to Hyanister's world, which would make food supply rather convenient.
Throne world. I turn the arc, and I go, and I lean in to whisper. What does that mean?
Ark basically switches over to Rogue Trader Cant for a brief moment. Effectively, sir, the planet-side location for your trade empire. In other words, think of it like Rogue Trader's equivalent of Holy Mars for the AdMech.
Essentially, the capital world of the Silverwind Protectorate in the Cronus Expanse.
Yes.
I thought they already had I thought they would have I thought they would already have a throne world.
You guys don't. This was mentioned before. The Silverwind does not have a throne world. This is something that was recorded on your Rumors and Hooks page.
Okay.
Yeah, very top, bottom. A throne belongs in a palace.
Oh, okay.
You're also you're also relatively close distance away from two different agri worlds, one of which is already owned by you.
Yeah, and we also got the deed to another agri-world within the Imperium itself, I believe, from the Light of Terra.
Oh yeah, that's an extra +1 profit factor. Did we add that to the count?
No.
And you know
Then.
what is that? Is
But
since Grant is leaning toward iconoclast, that means whatever like misplaced refugees we can just bring to my throne world if they want to be a part of it. But then again,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Santarks still want to become subservient to me in the end.
I
Well,
mean, you
at the-
literally saved them from getting wiped out by a, alien species.
and they may resent you enforcing a different way of life on them. There's a lot of factors that can change ultimately, like, importantly, who you put in charge of them.
Hmm.
And whether or not you give them, say, equal rights to other Imperium citizens. Because as it stands, there are not enough Santarks to start up a throne world.
Mm-hmm.
You will need to import colonizers and settlers from Footfall, essentially. Because there are a lot of them. There are a lot of pilgrim vessels that come by looking for new planets to settle. You can thank St. Drusus for that.
I turn to Ark and I go, I think it's about time we construct and build our own throne world then.
Art kind of gestures to gives like a vague gesture as a, well then, tell the trade colonel, mate.
And I go, all right then, let's turn it into the Silverwind throne world.
Colonel August doesn't normally smile that much. But this is a very genuine smile growing across his face. Finally, a planet worthy of our name.
Mm-hmm.
I believe we can still refer to it as Pranox Alpha, but in time, once we have left our mark, I believe a rename may be in order. Out of character, this is just my way of saying you don't have to think of a name for this planet quite yet. You can just keep calling it Pranox Alpha for now.
Speaking in Road Traders Can't, I'm going to jokingly say, I go, is Krieg 2 taken?
Art kind of, lets out a audible, chuff of amusement. Don't let the Ogrins name this one, sir. That's all I'm asking.
I keep saying the word prosperity a lot, but we'll think of a couple of names and bounce it back forth.
As it stands, your officers nod and begin the process of figuring out what's the next step. Which I believe is exploration, correct?
Yes, that currently is. And yep, we'll dump the Santarks here. They either will learn and adapt or find a way off the planet by themselves. I'll be more than willing to taxi them to a different world, but that's for them to determine.
Okay, so everyone back on page 60 of the slides.
Because you're right, I did save them. And if they're going to be dicks about it, then whoop-de-da, figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you can see on this loving map of Pranox that I made using the earlier template from Footfall, there are a total of 5 planets in the system, one unidentified object hovering, and an asteroid cluster towards the southern part of the system. Which location would you like to investigate first?
What was the unidentified object?
You guys do not know. Hang on, I need to rename this one. Delta. There we go. Pranox Delta.
Let's do Pranox Alpha because we gotta get the Santark stop eating our food.
Yeah. Hovering over this very nice looking planet, you got your initial auger scans indicate 1, it has normal atmosphere. 2, normal gravity.
Oh, hell yeah.
And 3, let me double check. Because, did you guys notice character sheets for planets in Rogue Trader?
Yes, because you need to know whether or not they have fresh water, types of, weather anomalies.
From the looks of it,
I didn't know that, DM.
yeah, Stars of Iniquity contains character sheets for colonies and planets. As it stands, I only had enough time to make the character sheet for Pranox Alpha, which is honestly the only place that's actually habitable. So that checks out. There are multiple continents on this planet. It looks like most of them are kind of clustered together. There are some major seas, like oceans, in the middle of the main cluster of continents. So, water, confirmed. Atmospheric readings are pure. Or should I say moderate, which means that it's not toxic or, thin.
It's not gonna kill you.
It's kind of Earth-like. But not Earth in 40K, which is like a horribly polluted, overcrowded wasteland.
Mess of a hive world, yeah.
This is a prime, untapped, unexploited world, and there's something on the map. There are strange readings coming out from the central expanse of plains. Along the, not necessarily equator of the planet, but definitely in between the equator and the larger northern sections of the planet. I need a scrutiny. Hang on, let me check, because the ship has detection plus 40, plus 20. I need a scrutiny plus 20 test from anyone manning the equipment.
I think that might be either Beck or... I think that might be Beck, because he's one of the ship equipment, right?
Yeah, that's definitely back.
Cooper, what is your scrutiny? Yeah, okay, so just roll me scrutiny plus 20.
Cooper, can I offer Cooper the help action with that?
Yeah, scrutiny.
Yeah, it's scrutiny.
Make sure you're doing it in roll 'em dice. Oh, he doesn't have proficiency in scrutiny.
I can do it.
Yeah, scrutiny plus 20.
You can also
Alrighty.
make it a plus 30 because I'll give you the plus 10.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I need to beat my perception's 43, so 73. Yeah, so that's really cool. I'm gonna re-roll that with a fate point real quick.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
Fuck you, Dicebot. Nobody loves you. Okay.
So you try and oh wait, what did I do? I just how did it happen? How did I do that? I somehow minimized the game room. Oh, that's because I did this. Never mind. There's definitely something on the surface of this planet that should not be there in this region of the place. You can't tell if it's signs of prior habitation.
Okay.
Like you're looking at a bunch of weird shapes on the surface of the planet that don't look natural. Unfortunately, you can't get a good enough reading on whether or not those shapes are human-made or are just weird shapes.
Okay. Art kinda looks to Grant. There's only one potential problem. Though I can't exactly make out what the shapes are, whether they're prior habitation, native settlements, or others.
Mm-hmm.
Certain things. There's he kind of like gestures for Grant to come over.
I approach.
Readings are showing that this is he kind of like points to where they are. In the central plains area of one of these continents, there's signs of something that looks at least vaguely unnatural. Potentially Imperium made or Xenos made.
Let's see. Diego, am I allowed to do a scrutiny check?
Do you have scrutiny trained or basic?
I have it basic.
Then yeah, go ahead. You get a plus 30 to it. Well, no,
Given
plus
that-
20. Plus 20.
I was gonna say, given that I pointed it out to Grant, could I use the help action since I do have it trained?
Oh, yeah, sure, then.
So
Yeah,
now
go for it.
then it would be a plus 30.
Yeah, you
Plus
guys are
30.
bouncing off each other.
18. So I need to roll below a 46 or a 48.
Let's see. What's the number?
Go, Grant, go. Hell
Alright,
yeah,
so-
mate! And you get an
Mhm.
extra degree of success because I took the help action.
Cool.
Okay, so good news and bad news.
Okay.
The good news is you verify that these are, in fact, artificial structures.
Okay.
The bad news is they don't look human-made.
Hmm.
But, looping back around to the good news, no signs of life.
Mm.
Or at least, civilized, intelligent life, other than these ruins.
All right. So it looks like looks at these ruins here. Before we decide to make it my throne world, we should or the Silverwind throne world. We should probably inspect the planet first. Oh, last thing we want to do is find out we're sitting on top of a Necron tomb world.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
that would
sir.
be that would be horrible. That would just be like, oh my god, the worst thing possible.
Mm-hmm.
Just skeleton dance starts blaring as the legions of the undead start emerging from the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be not ideal. Art kind of like gives Grant a nod as if to say, yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, Cadium emerges onto the bridge, hunched over, but sporting 6 spanking brand new mechadendrites, as Kadrian Handros follows behind him. This entire process has taken the course of 9 days. You guys just hovering over the planet, scanning it, getting information off of it. You guys, and also kind of like serves as a bit of downtime for the rest of the crew, considering all the shit that's happened.
And that means ZZ is no longer damaged from being shot.
Yeah, ZZ's up at full fighting strength and feeling a lot better now.
Oh wait, so I thought that he would did we start the punishment, or do we start punishment now, or did we overdo it?
Cadium does not have his arms on.
Okay.
So assuming no.
Alrighty.
Assuming yes, the punishment has already begun and he's been being punished for 9 days. Like you can see his little, like, I don't know, his little arm nubs as
I mean, I feel
he's
like
using
it's
his
probably-
2 extra mechadendrites to do things for him, and he
I mean,
does
you'd
not.
assume
He
it
looks
probably starts
inside.
after the surgery ends, because otherwise, then
Yeah.
what's the point? He can't do anything during surgery anyway.
Yeah,
he
that's
uses
pretty
his
much
arms
it.
to do stuff.
Kadrian Handros approaches with Cadium until, "Greetings, Lord Captain Entity. I bring you 1 upgraded Explorator."
And then I go, well, he does look somewhat better.
Cadium looks
Uh,
pretty tired. But he has fun new mechadendrites, and by fun new mechadendrites, I mean there's a gun on one of them.
And then from there I go, so, how you feeling?
Being honest, Lord Captain, I feel quite tired. Ball live. He kind of like flicks one of his mechadendrites up, kind of just going like, that's fine gesture.
At this point, the trade colonel comes up to you and says, "Lord Captain, your Aquila lander is already prepped and ready to depart. Shall I gather the rest of your retinue?"
Please do.
He nods. "How large a landing force do you believe will be necessary to investigate these ruins?"
Let's do, how many admech do we need for them to conduct the testing?
He looks over to Kadrian Handros, and Handros says, "I am an expert in matters of xenoarchaeology. Me and my trusted acolytes can depart onto the planet's surface at your command."
Alrighty, I want a platoon of guardsmen as their security detail, and I want a strike team ready for rapid deployment.
He nods. I miss these days I miss these days.
Mm.
He nods and begins giving the commands. Handros also leaves. You get the feeling that he has his own shuttle.
Yeah, he's an AdMech.
Yeah.
Of course,
That
he has his
checks
own
out.
shuttle.
So, going to skip the music and change it. This is actually pretty nice. Come on. This interaction failed. Okay, need to disconnect the music bot.
Skid's
Everyone-
roommates just walked in, by the way.
Yeah, I
I
heard.
think.
Bailey asked me if
Everyone-
I need to go to the bathroom before she showers.
Oh. Do you?
No?
Okay.
I do.
Coop
It's a
disconnected.
BRB.
Okay, everyone, bathroom break, I guess.
Be back by like X55.
Okay, well then I will use the bathroom for having a bathroom break.
Yeah, everyone, bathroom break for 5. We'll be back.
Okay.
I return.
Go back.
Heyo.
Oh.
Who else is alive?
Hello.
Hi, Tam. You doing good?
Hi.
You've been muted for a bit.
Oh yeah, I just don't want to make noises if my mic picks up.
Oh.
Because if I don't have noise suppression like completely off, sometimes it loses words. But then on the
Yeah.
flip side, if I do literally anything, it picks it up and makes noise.
I did not get to pee. One of my other roommates is taking a shower.
That's a shame.
I'll live.
But also meant I could eat very crunchy cookies and not make a whole bunch of noise.
I would assume. I was assuming that they took his arms when they left, so that way Cadium can't do anything with his hands while he's spending 9 days in surgery. Because that sounds incredibly boring.
Oh, also, Diego.
Yo.
Does chess exist?
People
Still?
chess does.
No, like small.
Board game. Board chest.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called regicide in this universe.
Cool.
Yeah. Why do you ask?
Skid and I were talking about
Plotting.
sneaking board games to play with Cadium while he was in surgery.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
Does anyone have an update on what happened with Coop?
No.
Nope.
No idea.
I'm gonna message him, everything good, mate? Oh, he's offline, so he might not see this.
I can't imagine being awake in surgery for 9 days. It sounds awful.
You're not actually awake all the time.
Well, yeah, obviously Cadium needs to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna, no worries, bathroom break.
Cooper's always on invisible.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just making sure.
Ah,
Hi, Loon.
hi.
Hi, so is everyone here?
Yes.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so Coop said he's gonna be on in a minute, so I guess we can just continue. He's not gonna miss much anyways. Command copy. And we're gonna play...
Okay, so, for consistency's sake, they did not deal the punishment to Cadium 9 days ago.
No,
That has-
because
okay,
he was in
good.
surgery.
Okay.
Although at this point, I guess they give you your arms back since you're gonna go down onto a planet to explore.
I hope so.
When we get back
Yeah.
to the ship is when the punishment will begin.
There
Okay.
you go. There you go.
Yep.
You all board the vessel. You all board your shuttles with our trusty Voidmaster Beck. Who is that, Cooper?
Lost in these caves, looking for adventure. By
Cooper, we can hear the audio in your background.
as we begin to step, you inch closer and closer to its gaping maw.
Guys, as we begin to step, we edge closer and
I need
closer.
you to roll 3. I need you to just roll 1 stealth check first.
Cooper, what the heck is going on in your end with
what?
the audio?
What?
What?
Take 1 step. No
Cooper, what's going on your end?
Is he playing another TTRPG?
That's what it sounds like.
step.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
We can hear what's going on in your end, my man.
Hmm.
That doesn't sound like me, so he's not listening to recording him.
No.
I need you
No.
to roll me.
Cooper?
Has there been any developments?
No. Cooper.
Could it be Cooper DMing?
It
No, that
sounds
doesn't
like-
sound like it sounds vaguely like Cooper, but I don't think that's Cooper. Cooper never talks like that. It's not in
Yeah.
his tone of voice.
However, what you do see is
It sounds a
Cooper?
lot like him, though.
It does,
Yeah.
but it's not him.
roll me a sleight of hand.
Well,
Cooper.
now he's rolling sleight of hand.
I'm just gonna
Cooper.
mute him for now. Message
Okay.
me when out. Yeah, I'm just gonna server mute him. Sorry,
Okay.
bud. Okay.
Oh
Ooh.
That is bizarre. I have no idea what's going on his end.
That was a lot of skill checks.
Yeah. He was either listening to a video or one of his own roommates is playing a game himself, and
Yeah,
that'd be interesting.
DMing probably.
Anyway, you guys embark on the Aquila lander, and the others begin to board their own shuttles. The Velvet Glove, in perfect geosynchronous orbit of Pranox Alpha, disgorges a flight of shuttles that descends onto the planet below.
You mean a fleet?
No, a flight of shuttles.
Oh.
Like a group of planes, like a squadron, but slightly bigger.
But that's a fleet.
Never mind. Everyone turn to page 64 as you get your first look at the alien ruins. Actually, now that I think about it, I need to change the music for this one too. Because, it's,
Funky.
yes, in fact.
Ooh.
Let's see, which one is, actually, I'm just going to disconnect the bot so that we don't have to worry about it
Hook
having an aneurysm at me.
Sex, and then blank. Nua.
Oh,
So I found the definition of flight versus fleet in terms of numbers, if anyone cares.
Oh, it is a.
Yep, according to the American military.
Oh, funky. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, there's a difference between a flight and a fleet.
That's.
Everyone turn to
weird.
page 64 of the slides.
Oh, okay. I'm assuming the plant life is actually plant life overgrowing
Oh.
it.
You guys land in an area covered in what looks to be white fungal growths
Hmm.
that have
Yeah.
overtaken a large number of unknown structures. This is a very strange situation, as you guys haven't seen anything like this before. Before you even get out,
Finish.
before you guys even disembark from the shuttles, a message comes out from the shuttle containing Handros, who advises everyone to wear rebreather units.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Cadian will like click his little rebreather into. He'll pull his goggles down and then click his rebreather into the little slot where they go against his goggles.
Grant, I assume, would be putting on his gas mask.
oh yeah, he always wears it.
Yeah. Tam and Ark, you guys grab rebreather and goggles from the ship's compartments.
Lovely.
And you guys all disembark, and the air in this area is pretty thick, because you can see little fungal spores just floating in the wind. This is a very toxic looking area. And everyone slowly disembarks from their ships, las guns and auto guns at the ready, as the thundering steps of Kadrian Handros is followed by several Skitari units and several other Magos biologists. So, I don't have a map prepared for this encounter, but we don't really need one. What do you
Okay.
guys do now that you're on Xenos ruins?
I was
Is
gonna
Gamanol
say-
here?
Gamanol is in fact here.
Can I wave at Gamanol?
He still ignores you.
I was gonna ask. Because you said this is unlike anything anyone's ever seen. That means no forbidden lore.
No forbidden lore?
Yeah, no forbidden lore, I'm assuming? No
You
forbidden
can
lore,
try,
Xenos?
but what would you try to use your lore on? The spores or the buildings? Because those are two different things.
Probably what remains of the buildings.
Make a flat Forbidden Lore Xenos check.
Okay, I need to beat a 62. Where's the dice channel? I can't. Hold on. I'm having a skill issue. Okay.
Under gameplay?
I see it. Yeah, I know jack shit. Holy fuck, the dice box really hates me. This is a chronic issue.
There's a lot of buildings left over. You're fairly certain this one used to be a slaughterhouse, but you're not entirely sure.
Okay.
Its architecture is very inhuman in nature.
And probably very run down given the fungal infection.
Oh yeah, and there's fungi everywhere. Very weird, puffy, white-looking fungi, almost all of which kind of has this very strange shape to it. Like, a lot of the fungi have these spherical shapes to them.
Is there a different test for the fungi?
I need to check because this is a very funky situation you found yourself in.
What, can I actually, as you're doing that, Cadium, are you able to do an analysis on the fungi with your knowledge of chemistry?
Sure.
Yeah, Chemus, I guess, or would
Chemus.
this be trade chem?
I have the scholastic lore for chemistry, and then
Scholastic
I
or
have...
chemistry? Go for it.
Okay. That
Yeah,
is
that as well.
significantly higher
Yeah.
than the other
Go for
options I have. I forgot to put the R.
That would help.
That fails. That's 2 points off.
So these
Wait,
fungi are.
I'll give you a plus 10.
I succeed.
Okay, so you were distracted momentarily by the strange spherical shapes of the fungi. You do notice that these are very funky fungi. As in, they all seem to be very closely related to one another. Like, these are all essentially the same species of fungi. Despite looking wildly different, you surmise that this is a massive outbreak of a very specific type of fungus. And the very different types of fungi you see around this area is literally just the same type of mushroom at different stages of development.
Fun. Yeah, I'll relay that information to the party.
Another thing you do notice is that they don't seem to be native to this world.
Wow, really? I'm kidding.
Yeah, these don't look like, based on what you saw of the environment coming in and based on the very limited reports of the Cognizance fleet, there's no mention of any abnormal fungus like this. So either they missed this on the first one or this is not native to the planet.
Okay. Diego.
Yes.
Me as a player immediately wants to call not like what species made this, but what species brought the fungi. However, I failed my test, so I'm not gonna say anything.
You can try again to do your thing with the fungus this time.
Okay, I do have scholastic lore chemistry. So
Yeah. Although, there isn't really a scholastic lore biology, is there?
No. I'd have it if I did, I'd have it at basic if it was a thing.
Shame. Okay, roll for it. Let's see what you get.
I need a fucking 62. Watch me fail. Aw, hell yeah, mate!
That's an 81.
Yup. I have not rolled below a 75 this entire game on the dice spot. See why I hate this dice spot? It hates me.
Yeah. Other times it shows you a lot of love, though.
It has given me one roll below 20, literally ever.
What about when you rolled a 2 on Saranon?
That's the one roll below 20, literally ever.
Oh yeah, that's true. So yeah, you have no idea what type of species could have brought this type of fungus here, or if it was like transplanted on a meteor or something, because that does
Great,
happen.
fuck this. I'd like to use a fate point to automatically.
Okay, so using your
Finish
fate.
ability.
Okay, so racking your brain through the quite considerable knowledge of humanity, which isn't that considerable. You don't really know of any species, spacefaring that is, that deliberately transplant mushrooms when they touch down on a planet. The closest you can come up to thinking would be the orcs. Because orcs are primarily fungoid in nature. They literally reproduce via spores, which is kind of funny because they're orcs.
Yeah. Does the rest of the architecture, in the picture it looks a little too clean to be orcish, but that being said...
The mushrooms you can very much verify, however, are not orcish in nature. The main giveaway being that there are no orcs in the area.
Well, yeah. I was gonna say, well, there are no orcs, so...
And also the mushrooms are white.
That's not an orc thing.
Yeah, orc spores are green. Everything about them is green.
Yeah, they're very green.
And looking at the architecture, you can definitely tell this is way too nice to be orc.
Yeah, me the player can already identify that. Art kind of looks to Grant. We're not dealing with anything typical. No normal space-faring Xenos race carries fungi except for orcs, and I'm sure we can tell by the lack of orcs. This is not orc.
Diego, can I tell what this fungus is doing to the agriculture, or not agriculture, to the
ecosystem?
Ecosystem and infrastructure.
Okay, so looking at just eyeballing this, the fungus has pretty much spread out and covered everything.
Right.
And there does not appear to be any other kind of vegetation in the area. Like, there's no grass, there's no trees, just fungus.
Mm-hmm.
However, you look around and you kind of get the feeling that this is a localized phenomena. As in, this area basically encompasses the entirety of the fungus infection. Mm-hmm. One of your scouts comes in to report that the mushrooms are localized entirely around these ruins.
Mm-hmm.
So you get the feeling that if the infection were to spread, it could be devastating to the local ecosystem and any agricultural operations.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, it's fairly rooted in spot. So if you can find a way to contain it, then you're good to go.
Am I able to guesstimate if there's a source for these mushrooms? Or for this fungus?
You can't quite gauge that right now, but you do look over and you see Cadron Handros is sampling the mushrooms and doing his own thing with a small cadre of tech priests with him. The one specifically trained in all matters biological.
The reason why I'm thinking that this could be some kind of experiment or weapon is because this is happening around architecture. It doesn't seem that it happened in nature.
Yeah. Diego, I have a second question.
Go for it. I'm open.
Given that they're taking samples, could I effectively, from a bit that is far cut off from the rest of the fungi, not near any other, because if what I'm doing works, and this could be a problem, in a contained test tube-esque reaction chamber, could I test what fire does to the bitch?
Yeah, sure.
I want to check if we can nuke it.
You do know that there are selective defoliants that could clear out this entire area relatively quickly, but you are correct in guessing that you should check what fire does first before just burning
Straight up bombing the place, yeah.
So you snip off a bit of the mushroom and put in a test tube. About 40 paces outside the perimeter being established around these Xeno ruins, you bring up a small light to it. And as you do, you see the mushroom sort of react to the flame, and it starts to bud. And small spores start to come out of the mushroom as the fire basically lights it.
Okay, so it reacts to heat specifically.
And it is releasing spores in reaction to the heat.
Okay, good thing I did not just straight up bomb it. Art kind of walks back over to Grant, with the test tube full with the mushroom and the spores. Well, I should say, using the Imperial Navy method or any sort of flame method is ill-advised. Not only do these things appear to be extremely heat-resistant, but the catalyst for them releasing spores actually comes from massive amounts of heat.
Hmm. Diego,
Yeah.
will we have brought vegetation grenades?
What do you mean vegetation grenades?
There are anti-plant grenades.
Yeah.
Right, defoliant chemical defoliants. Yes. You could probably synthesize some up in the small lab you have aboard the ship.
Oh, we don't have them prepared? Because I thought we were allowed to bring at least 3 grenades.
Yeah, but you didn't specify what type of grenades, and I'm just assuming you guys brought regular frags.
Alrighty.
You do have the materials to make them on hand, and within the hour you could have like the first crate load of grenades ready to go. But
Yeah, because anti-plant grenades do 3d10 energy damage with a blast radius of 3.
Do they actually?
Yeah.
there are
Only to
anti-plant
plant
grenades.
life. Only to plant life.
Aw.
The chemicals don't affect
Aw.
other sources of organic life.
Aw.
like soil.
They affect
Hopefully.
fauna, not flora. Or they affect flora, not fauna. So
Yeah.
soil, rock, any inorganic material also.
Alright.
Tam, what is your character doing?
Whatever Zizi is attempting to do, Cadmium's trying to hold them back from whatever it is with their 2 mechadendrites that are normal mechadendrites.
Well, I mean, Zizi's got it pretty clear of like, hey, this is not good. Do not be normal and collect it. Bring it back on the ship. That is a very bad idea. I think they're mostly trying to look for shiny rocks.
Looking for shiny.
Cadmium's
So,
babysitting.
Shiny rocks.
so you're just exploring the ruins looking for shinies.
Yes.
Okay.
It's
I'll
of
say
interest.
did you have a small following of guards with you? And Cadmium tagging along to make sure you're not doing anything stupid.
Yeah.
I
I want you to roll me a 1d100.
Okay, I can do that. Once I... Oh, there we go. Ta-da! 45.
That's a pass.
It's a paw?
Roll me 1d10. No, wait, 1d8.
1d8, okay.
Yep, trust me.
Meh, there you go. 8.
Aha. And now roll me a 1d10.
2.
Okay, so just double checking. Finally, I need you to roll me another 1d10.
The amount of rolls is concerning. 4.
You explored the ruins for quite a bit. Oh, Coop, I'm gonna unmute Coop, see if everything's alright on his end, because he's typing now. Woo. Cooper, is everything... What?
Ah, there we go.
Coop, is everything good on your end? We were hearing some weird audio before.
Yeah. I just,
But weird audio
sorry.
heard D&D noises.
Yes. I had to
Okay.
do all wins, and I think I forgot to mute myself. Sorry.
Okay.
Continue on.
Okay, so you guys are exploring an alien planet with alien ruins on it. Tam, your character explores basically building to building looking for shinies. You sort of have a sixth sense for this now, aside from the other sixth sense you have that lets you look into the warp.
A 7th sense, if you will.
You spot something shiny hidden between a cluster of fungal pods. Reaching in, you find a combat tool.
So where?
An Imperial-made tool.
No, this
Oh.
one is clearly of alien make. This strange tool appears to have been made with, well, it looks organic in nature. As if it
Uh-oh.
was grown.
Uh-oh.
It is a very strange, sort of a pale white, with a single, with like, you know, some mechanical bits and bobs. Like, it has a kind of fleshy texture to it, but at the end there are definite metallic protrusions that look analogous to combat tool implements. This combat tool benefits from peerless elegance.
Oh.
As a gear or tool, this increases it is solidly constructing, if lacking in the adornment and flair that shows dedication and mastering Imperial manufacture. That being said, because this looks organic in nature, you can tell that this was shaped by very skilled hands. Any attempt to use this alien combat tool gains a +5 to skill tests.
Oh.
So you have a fleshy kind of combat tool that looks organically grown.
Cadium, because Zizi's taller than Cadium by like a lot. Cadium like snakes his optical mechadendrite to actually like try and get a good look at it, and he kind of just goes, Zizi, what'd you find?
Yes. I have no idea.
Can I see?
Sure.
You hand over the fleshy combat tool. It looks very weird. Cadmium,
Yeah.
it does not look like anything a human would make, and the very sight of it kind of repulses you as a member of the Adeptus Mechanicus. But because you've expressed a big interest in xenotech in the first place, repeatedly, you're oddly fascinated by its strange, inhuman design.
Cadium kind of like holds it in like his mechadendrites, and he goes, "Oh, well. Firstly, ew. Secondly, oh,
I agree with you. What? Oh, why? Oh.
this. Well, I think it is. This is a combi tool,
Mm-hmm.
or I think it's.
squishy.
I don't know why you're asking me why it's squishy. They're not supposed to be squishy. He had him kind of like one of the tips of his fingers kind of like shooks down, and you can see like his combi tool, which is built into his fingers. They're supposed to look like this,
Uh-huh.
not made of flesh.
Uh-huh.
Comparing and contrasting, Tam, the combat tool that Cadium uses is fairly standard metallic.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen dozens of these before, you know. And it is and at the end of it, kind of looks like a very strange. Actually, let me see if I can pull up an image of what an Imperial combat tool would look like. Because
I'm thinking like a Swiss Army knife sort of situation.
it kind of does look like that.
Yeah,
Hang on,
good.
40k. That is essentially what it does, but here, this is an image derived from the actual Pathfinder. No, not Pathfinder. Rogue Trader game. Go to Rogue Trader Central.
Huh, yeah.
Oh.
That is what a regular Imperial combat tool looks like. Kind of has like
Yeah.
a pistol grip, and it has like a kind of a pistol grip. It's just this big chunk of metal, and there's a bunch of tools sticking out the end of it. These are like the best friends of field mechanics and tech priests all around. The one you found has a crescent type handle to it, and it looks it looks a lot more streamlined than the one Cadium has. Very elegant, but still very organic. And there's a bunch of metal implements at the other end of it that kind of resemble the tools on the Imperial combat tool.
Cadium's kind of like turning it around, like to like look at it all angles. And he goes, "I don't really know how I would take this apart."
I don't think you're supposed to.
Well, no, it's flesh. That would imply it's living. I don't like that implication. I'm not sure if you do.
I don't. Why is I don't? It's squishy.
It is, yeah, it's squishy. Kind of like squishes it very lightly. It's kind of squishy. I don't really know how I would take this apart to study it.
Can I have
Or
both of you make
do
a
anything
perception
with
check
it.
for me?
Sure!
You can do that. I am very good at that.
I'm
Uh,
also very
actually-
good at that.
Actually, not perception, awareness. Let's say awareness.
Yay! That's even better!
I have a
Awareness-
plus 20 in awareness.
I have
Awareness
also
from
plus
Cadium
20
and
to
Zizi.
awareness.
Let's go for it. Let's hear it. What do we got?
Yippee!
It's 70.
I need to beat a 59.
Okay, let's go for it. 70 and
Woohoo.
59. Taking all bets. Big money, no whammies.
Cadium can see.
Okay.
I rolled a 34.
Zizi
I just-
cannot.
I just needed one of you to pass. That's okay.
Okay.
Optimal Mechadendrite go burr.
Sorry, Tam.
It's
Sorry.
okay. That spot hates me.
I actually would have passed that if I didn't have any bonuses.
Zizi, you are still fixated on this strange thing in front of you, because you're just, like, kind of grossed out. Like, sure, you like plants and all that. That's nice organic stuff, but this is just
This is weird.
wrong. Yeah.
Icky.
Cadium, you look around and you notice that nothing else in this room looks to have been made in the same fashion as this tool. The structure you're in seems to be made out of local stone that was mined and quarried somewhere else. There is no other hints of any sense of organic technology here.
Hmm.
I need you to roll me an intelligence check. Oh, logic.
can-
Roll me logic.
I can roll you logic, sure. What is its intelligence? I have to make it 58.
What do we got?
Let's see. 1d100. 50! That makes it. By 8.
Adam, it occurs to you that whoever designed this tool may not have been the same one who have designed these ruins.
Hmm.
And
Zizi?
considering the presence of mushrooms, you wonder if someone else came to this world and found that there were natives.
He's easy.
Yes, cats.
Cadium, for one, he was like looking down at the thing. He kind of like looks up at you for a moment and he blinks a single time. Thank you. I appreciate the nickname. Anyway, okay, so I think now this is just a hunch. I think that I think something else has found this place in between the AdMech and us coming here.
I mean, yeah,
Oh,
there's giant
obviously.
white,
Well,
fungi everywhere.
Well, what I'm saying is that all the white fungi and all the white and this, he like gestures to the Gumby tool, aren't. Well, they're obviously not native to the planet, but I think that whatever made these ruins isn't the cause of the fungus.
No shit, Sherlock.
Well, yeah, I know. Sometimes you just have to state the obvious. Okay, I don't know what you're thinking. I beat you in chess
Annoyingly.
53 times over the past 9 days.
Counted?
Yes,
Oh.
I'm always counting.
Okay, I won one, thank you.
No, you didn't. That was a tie. It was a tie.
No. I won
Uh-huh.
the second one.
Did you? Really?
Mhm.
I don't remember that.
You were half asleep. Anyway,
Either way, we should probably... Go back and tell the captain, or try and find more of flesh tools.
I vote find more.
Would you
I
like to
have to
attempt
agree
another
with
check
you.
to find more organic technology?
Yes.
Sure.
Both of you roll me 1d100.
Okay.
Hopefully. Oh, wait, what?
3! I rolled a 3!
Those
Uh,
are
do it
very good
again.
differences.
Tim, do it again. The dice spot's silly sometimes.
Yeah, roll it again, Tam.
Diego, I rolled a 3.
I know, you pass.
Yay.
I think there's a slash in there accidentally, and it made it do a funky.
Yeah, I saw the slash.
Yeah, whenever the dice bot does that, we always reroll.
29.
You guys both find two different examples of organic technology. God, this is why I love this book. I need both of you to roll me a 1d8.
Okay.
Okay,
3 again.
5.
3 and 5. You guys find a ranged weapon and a piece of armor.
Ooh.
Oh.
Base.
Who rolled a 3?
Me.
Okay, I need you. Roll me a 1d8.
8.
You find what looks to be a hunter's rifle of sorts.
Oh.
Okay, so this is 1d8 of alien make, so that means I need you to roll me another 1d10 to figure out what exactly it is. What? No, wait, actually, yeah, roll me a 1d2.
1d2? Okay. 1.
It also has peerless elegance.
Okay.
So, do you find a strange... I'll put in the stats soon enough, but for now I'm just going to put in... let's see, this would go under... cargo hold. Times 1 organic combat tool.
Theodore, if I may ask, what part of it is organic?
The whole thing!
That's fucked up.
Yeah,
Also,
Yes.
what is
Flash.
what is peerless elegance? I said ooh, but I don't know what that means.
Plus 5
peerless-
to all checks made with it.
Oh,
that's,
fun.
that only applies to gear or tool. For a ranged weapon, this thing is impact, has rending, increased damage by 2,
Holy
gains
shit.
reliable, and has a quadruple clip size.
Oh wow. Okay.
Oh
Please.
wow.
I'd pay you for that skid.
I
You pay
will.
me for that? I'll take you. I might take you up on that.
I will inform you of the deets later. Now, that is what. That is the ranged weapon. What about the piece of armor? I need a 1d10 roll.
Got
No,
it.
wait. 1d8.
Got it. 5.
This is a mesh weave cloak.
Oh. It's organic xenomash.
Wait, does that mean I
Ew.
can turn invisible?
No, that's camellia
No.
line cloaks.
Oh.
Different thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a 1d2. Also peerless elegance. So that means that the armor gains +1 to AP. And yeah, so just halved weight and 1 AP to the mesh weave cloak. So I'm gonna have to put that into cargo hold. Times 1 blade organic xenomesh cloak.
Okay.
As in,
How
this
do
was
you-
made out. As in, something was skinned in order to make it.
Ew.
Ew.
Yes,
Yum.
but you guys will find different traces of organic technology, essentially.
Cool. Once we find those, Cadium will reconvene with Zizi, holding the gun. So, what'd you find? I found a gun.
Found something that I'm really hoping is just plain leather and not what I think it is.
Cadium looks down at it and he kind of just goes, I think it's what you think it is.
Fuck.
Not think it is. Unfortunately. Hate to break it to you. I mean, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's useful. That doesn't mean I have to like it.
Yeah. Yeah. Kenyon kind of like looks down and he goes, I don't. It's kind of. It's all kind of flesh. This is all kind of flesh. It's kind of uncomfortable, if I'm going to be honest.
Quadruple its clip size. Jesus.
My God.
That's
It's
clip
crazy.
20. 200-meter range.
Whoa.
Only single fire.
Oh, pensive.
Yes, and it is.
So it's literally just like a sniper rifle.
Yeah,
I
but
need it.
unfortunately, this design is very blatantly organic. As in, you know how most guns have like a wooden furniture and like metal barrel and shit?
Mm-hmm.
It's flesh. It's all flesh. The same flesh as the combat tool, and the metal is integrated into the flesh.
I hate everything about this.
You don't
Yes.
stop talking. You've already convinced me. I need
It
it.
has a very It has like a sort of soft, rubbery texture to it, but still
Ew.
vaguely flesh-like.
Ew.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Look, Kenyon kind of like looks at the three things that they've acquired and he goes, well, usually I would say we would take these apart and send our findings back to Mars. I don't.
Do that.
This isn't in my expertise to do that. I don't deal.
Adrian's thing.
I don't deal with flesh. But you wanna know who does deal with flesh?
Your boss.
Is he my boss, Diego? Is that how that works?
Adrian is Kadrian's specifically the engineer of the ship, so he is the highest ranking member of the Adamic on the ship. But since you're an explorator, you are decidedly independent and outside the normal chain of command. Only a senior explorator can tell you what to do, so he's more like your supervisor rather than your full-on boss.
Kevin's going to explain it to Zizi, and he's just going to go, yeah, I think he's more of a supervisor than a boss, but I kind of treat him like one anyway.
Weave cloak.
He kind of scares me. When I mean he kind of scares me, I mean, have you seen the guy?
Oh, he's terrifying.
Well, he's pretty standard looking for
So
an
that is
AdMech.
4 AP.
Well, for a tech
Like
priest.
I
He's pretty
said,
standard looking for a tech
He's
priest.
terrifying.
There we go.
Well, I'm glad that you don't think I'm terrifying. I'm pretty, I'm sure it's been established
Yeah, 'cause you're
abnormal.
cadmium.
Thanks. I mean, that was supposed to be a genuine thanks. Thank you. Anyway, we should probably bring these back to Kedron, because he probably knows what to do, because flesh is not in my expertise. I can, rip it off, but not in a way that is...
I thought your whole deal was that you guys are not supposed to like organic stuff.
Well... I like organic stuff. I just don't deal in organic stuff. It's not my area of expertise. Some of us are really good at dealing with flesh, because, you know, we kind of have to cut it off in order to replace ourselves with metal. And everything. Like when you weren't looking at my back as Kadrian scooped out, a good bit of it. Just put it back in. Standard procedure.
I find that concerning.
I didn't feel it. Well, I did feel it. It just didn't hurt. Well,
You are not helping your case.
well, Zizi, that's because I'm mostly machine. You do know that, right? I don't breathe.
Which still freaks me out, but yes.
That's why I pretend to breathe. Yeah. It's easier to pretend to breathe. Anyway, let's bring this back to Kedron Handrust. I don't feel like I'm going to stop explaining how it works. I work. It work. Yeah.
By the way, I found a good...
Got that.
Oh, no, Coop, get rid of that image. I found one for the rifle.
Oh.
Wow, that's worse
It's
than I
a meat
imagined.
rifle! Meat rifle!
This weapon
That is-
has not finished growing.
That's fucking terrifying.
fucked
I
up.
hate that.
That. I despise that.
It is
Alright,
not finished growing. It is
I may
not
not want to wield
matured.
it. I may not want to wield it now, guys.
Yeah. It's not bleeding or anything, but you don't want to jostle it too hard either. So you guys return with your treasures in tow as Ark and Grant are coordinating a defoliation operation to basically get rid of all the fungus without burning it, because you don't want to unleash the spore apocalypse on this planet
No.
moments after just landing.
No.
Also, Ark now, in fact, does technically have a fucking plate of metal over where his dead eye used to be, because he does technically now have a USB drive in his brain.
Just like me for real.
Rode out the fucking
Metal eye
Elon
patch.
treatment.
Yeah.
So-
Connected to the net.
So, Cadmium and Zizi, organic technology in tow.
I despise it.
You approach Grant and Ark.
Oh, we were
Beck,
gonna
I
bring this
agree.
back to Kidu and Handros, actually.
Beck is, I assume, just traipsing around the ruins looking for shit to kill.
Pretty much, yes.
No signs of life, Chief, other than all the fungus, unfortunately. Which is good, but also it's concerning.
I
Ark
would
kind of
like to
looks as
say-
they walk up with fucking bioorganic weaponry and a skins cloak, like a literal skin suit.
Skin suit,
Just
skin
kind of
gun,
blinks a
skin
couple
tool.
times with his one good eye, and you just see him like just facepalm before looking. Do I want to know where you found that?
The ground.
That
Technically, one of these things was in a closet, but you get the idea.
why?
The same thing.
Why?
That's a
What do you
good
mean, why?
question. I don't want to know.
Give those to the biologists.
That's the plan. I'm kind of curious as to see what makes these up.
I want off this planet so bad.
Can I take a look at the organic hunting rifle?
You can. It does not look like anything you've run across before.
The Cadmium kind of like holds it out to you.
The
Look it
closest analogy you can think of would be the rat goals you guys ran into a while back. Because,
What do you
you know,
mean?
they integrated, because they had a lot of organic technology themselves, mostly cybernetic in nature. That is the closest analog you can get to, as you are given this meat flesh gun.
Am I able to tell if this was chaos constructed?
Oh, that might be a question for the theologists.
What do you,
You
mean
do-
by chaos?
Or the person who
constructed?
technically has scholastic or forbidden lore demonology here.
Who has Forbidden Lord Demonology?
Me!
Who do you think?
I
Shit,
have
didn't
forbidden lore demonology!
Shit, the Inquisition would be on your fucking ass if they knew that. Roll.
It's part of infused knowledge.
Right, roll for me.
Okay.
Roll
Can
for
I
Chaos
not
Tank.
use a fucking dice bot?
Yeah, for this one, go for it.
Fuck the dice bot. Dice bot hates me.
Dice
Oh,
bot hates
chaos taint? You mean malignancy?
Well, no, you're just trying to figure out if it is tainted with chaos.
Oh, okay, lovely.
Yeah, because that's what Grant wants to know, if this was made with the powers of chaos.
Hey, Grant, old buddy, old pal. So I rolled a 40, and I need to beat a 31. Can you give me a plus 10, please?
Is that all I'm good for? Just a plus 10? That's it? Yeah?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
At least he
I am-
admitted it. So I go, yes, I will give you the plus 10.
I
So
am
Ark
biting.
basically starts staring at the thing, and basically, like, you see him kind of tilt his head as you don't hear gears whirring, but Cadmium, who's also an Agmet, can basically sense that Ark is basically filtering through a database in his own brain as he's staring at this thing.
Cadmium's
am-
kind of like looking at Ark like when he's like giving like Ark like a very clear when did that happen look. Probably during the 9 days he was in surgery, but you know.
Yes.
Believe it or not, Kadrian Handros wasn't just operating on you.
Adrian Handros does a lot of things. We love that guy. That's why my roommates think he's a Tumblr sexy man.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding, by the way.
Yeah, I'm aware. You've informed me of this development. Anyway, so good news, Ark. No chaos corruption. That does not change the fact, however, that this is a very deeply unsettling piece of technology.
Art kind of like basically looks to Grant. Good news and bad news. Good news, nothing to do with chaos or any sort of warp cult taint activity. That being said, it's still a flesh gun.
It might be able to bleed.
We hate it.
Yeah, it's deeply
Zizi,
disturbing.
You want me to take the flesh cloak over to Kadrian?
I can just do it.
Diego,
I mean,
is this an
Not me.
exotic weapon?
I do have 4 available arms. I think you broke him. Oh my god.
Okay, so I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Hang on, just checking.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
It's a flesh gun.
It's a flesh gun?
Okay, so this book has a...
Hold on.
No, this book has a table for generating treasures. The treasures can be of alien make. It does not specify if it requires a specific exotic talent to use one of these guns if they were made by an alien.
Mm-hmm.
What
Wait.
stats is it pulling from? Because it looks like it's a long las with penetration.
No,
and a
this is
longer
specific.
clip.
No, this is specifically listed as a hunting rifle. That's what you guys rolled for.
Oh.
what it's made of organic.
I can't
So it's,
find
so
hunting
it just
rifle
has
in
the
the book.
parts of
Yeah.
organic,
Um,
and it has the complexity of a normal hunting rifle.
Yeah.
Pretty
'cause-
much.
So
Although
this
with
is basically a souped up musket, is what this is. Looking at its
yeah.
stats.
Yeah, but it's not in this. Yeah, because I have the hunter's rifle profile on the book listed in the ship hub channel next to the item. And cargo hold, it is specifically listed as having
Yeah.
200 meter range, single shot only, modified stats to reflect the fact that this is, alien make. It does not say
Terrifying.
anything about requiring exotic talent to use, so for all intents and purposes, there is no talent needed to use this weapon beyond the regular rifle talent.
Weapon training universal. Basic weapon training universal. Okay.
It's
It
still
is-
awful and I hate it.
Diego.
You get the...
It operates like a normal flesh gun.
I
Yeah, you
Like
just-
a normal
that.
flesh gun.
It will take you a bit of time to figure out how to fully operate it, though. But that's like the same of like, once you get your hands on a new type of las gun model, you figure it out, you figure how they all work, so...
So that means can I basically can I do a test to figure out how it works?
Yeah, do me tech use.
Alrighty.
yeah.
I don't have that
You can-
trained, or
Uh,
I don't have that done.
I don't think it's a basic skill.
It's
Cadmium,
not.
would you do a tech use test? Just bear with
Sure.
me. Do
Yeah.
the tech use test.
I'll do a tech use test, sure.
Bear with me, bear with me.
That succeeds. As long as I don't
Grant.
roll a 100, it succeeds.
Grant, you are holding this flesh gun in your hands, and it's kind of...
Gross.
Awful.
Disgusting.
Terrifying.
It's actually a bit lighter than you'd expect.
Mhm.
Whoa.
Oh, it's hollow. That makes sense.
And Cadmium, you've spent some considerable time looking over this strange piece of technology, so you go around and you give it a good look as Grant holds it, as you should. There are a few things you discern. One, it does not grow ammunition. Thankfully,
Okay.
it's not like shooting
Thankfully, it doesn't grow ammunition. Okay.
it's not like shooting babies at you or anything.
That'd be hilarious if it was.
That'd be
Baby
hilarious
launcher.
and awful. Baby
Two.
launcher.
Two, you notice that there's a
Screaming
mouth-like
bullets.
Tooth, you notice that there's like a small mouth-like thing at the bottom of the gun where you
Use?
think you would insert ammunition.
Okay.
Like there's little teeth.
Oh, yummy.
Cadmium's kind of just like
Awful.
standing there, while Grant's looking at it, and he kind of just goes, boss. There's no
Yes?
ammo in that.
Hmm.
You
I
do,
take,
however-
I take rations and water and I pour it into the in the mouth.
The mouth does not open to the rations, but once you start pouring in some water, it like kind of opens up, and you can see this very strange goat-like teeth
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Oh.
yummy.
as it starts, just like
Oh.
starts suckling in water.
Mm-hmm.
I tried making some suckling noises, but my mic didn't pick it up.
I heard it.
I-
I heard some of it. I
Yeah.
heard some of it. It was terrible.
And
Alrighty.
you try and fire, but nothing comes out. Cadam,
Ross?
that's when you realize you need to actually feed it like bullets, and you need to stroke the underside of the barrel in order to load it.
Mm.
Cadmium
So you
kind of
need
like
to jack
realizes
off
that.
the flesh gun.
No, you just need to like stroke it once.
No,
going
you need to jack
towards
off
you.
the flesh gun. I think. Cadmium kind of like gets a little bit grossed out as he realizes this, and he kind of just goes, boss.
Yes.
Pardon my wording, but I think you have to feed it a bullet and then jack it off first.
Hmm. Well,
Right, do you want me to try first?
I don't. I wouldn't recommend we use this.
do you want this?
For one, do I want this?
No, I'm asking Beck.
I'll try it out first.
Alrighty.
Uh,
Well,
Do you give the flesh gun to Beck?
Yeah, I'm about to tell him. I go, let's test fire this on the ship
Yeah,
as I hand it to
don't-
him.
I don't want you if it has some sort of kickback or bonding process. I'm not sure.
I'm sorry. Why are we testing out the flesh gun?
It's a
Adrian,
flesh gun.
Cadrian Handros is standing next to you, Cadium, silently observing all this. His own optical mechadendrite is like aimed at the gun, and you get the feeling that he's like recording this for posterity.
Cam kind of like looks up at Kadrian Handros and he kind of like offers the other two weird flesh things up to Kadrian Handros, kind of just like without saying a word.
Ark
Handros-
looks at the two guys nerding out over a flesh gun with a disapproving look on his face.
Handros does not take the items you offer him, but two of his attendants do take the items and begin examining them in detail.
Grant's gonna go with the entire new Xenos force. We gotta know the capabilities of their weaponry. This is a step towards that.
Okay.
Ark kind of looks to Kadrian. I'm sure that, given those are organic in nature, they're going to be genome sequenced.
He nods. Rigorous analysis shall be conducted to verify organic nature and chemical makeup of these objects. He disdainfully holds up the combat tool, inferior to Imperial make. The Omnissiah blesses. It is his knowledge and his will that grants us strength and power. These ignorant savages know nothing of true enlightenment.
Damn.
Yeah, fun fact, the Admech look down on anything that isn't human-made because it's part of their religious dogma.
Yeah, as he basically finishes his spiel, Art gives him like a nod of agreement, while blatantly wearing Eldari art in front of him. I should mention, though it is technically covered by his Camellia Line cloak. Yeah. He just kind of gives him a nod before looking over to where I'm assuming the Admech biologists are already analyzing the bullshit.
Yep.
Beck,
I'd
you
like
have
that-
the
gun.
I'd like
which
that
the-
genome sequence to be run, and DNA sequencing to be run past databases to know if we've ever come across this kind of organic life before. I'm assuming that's already in protocol.
He nods. Standard operating procedures as dictated by the Omnissiah's grace.
Lovely. Thank you, sir.
Beck.
Hmm?
Do you feed this thing a bullet?
I
That's such
I
a
will-
sentence.
hold it in my arms, like how you hold a hunting rifle. I will look at Grant, and then wait for him to nod
I nod.
before I proceed.
So, because of the positioning of the mouth receptacle, you're basically loading it like a shotgun.
Okay.
Just holding it up, bullet down the hatch, moving it up right side up, and you kind of like pump it like a shotgun, but you're kind of sort of getting it ready to fire.
How the fuck? Okay.
I hate everything about that sentence.
You fired the gun.
I'll ask Grant, what do you want me to fire it at?
Is there like a tree, or is there basically something nearby that is innocuous?
There are no trees nearby. There are only mushrooms.
Mm.
Well,
I go-
spherical, strange mushrooms that do not look natural in any kind of way. But there was also a bunch of like buildings that are like covered in fungus that you could just like shoot the side of.
Yeah. I'm gonna point toward a building where we know for sure no one's inside.
Two of your scouts like go into the building, sweep it, and when they come out, they're carrying what looks to be just a really big box or something.
Cool. All right. Take test fire at that building, or at that building.
Yes, Captain.
You take aim and fire as a very loud crack roars, and the bullet exits at breakneck speed and hits the side of the building.
How much theoretical damage would it have done?
Well, as I've noted in cargo hold, this thing has penetration 4 and 1d10 plus 4 impact damage.
And with
But you
my
also
bonuses.
Yeah, but it also has the tearing quality.
Which means that it you roll twice and take the better number.
No, it does not have. Wait, no, it does not have tearing. It has rending.
Oh, that is very different.
Yeah. My bad. That is the wrong trait.
Oh, yeah, that's a distinction. Interesting.
bad.
Rending's only ever found on Xenos weapons. No shit.
What does that mean?
Big peepee damage. Specifically against organic objects.
That's why I'm interested in it.
Rending is not found on just entirely.
It's a Xenos property, Skid.
Then why does my Medicae mechadendrite have it?
It's rending damage. There's a difference between rending damage and rending as in the property.
So my headspace in this is that
Cool.
remember back during the banquet hall where one of the rogue traders had a shuriken gun, or like a special like eviscerator gun from Eldar?
Yeah, that was Madame Charleville. She had a Harlequin's kiss.
Yeah, exactly. So what if I just show up with this thing and I kind of go, "This is the weapon I use against heretics. Don't make me use it."
You can get the feeling that a number of rogue traders would be subtly impressed that you would be ballsy enough to flaunt an alien weapon like that.
Mhm.
But you also get the feeling that a number of them would be unsure of what they're looking at because they would probably be as disgusted as most of you are just looking at this thing. Because you do see the reference image, right? That thing does not look natural
Yeah.
in any way.
So yeah, the thing is though is like I really like the game called Scored where your weapons are flesh made, and one of my
Oh,
favorite
yeah.
one of my comics comics I really liked once upon a time called the Floating City. The main character has a sentient flesh gun, and the gun basically says quips the entire fucking comic. So I'm all like, and it's growing, so interesting. I'm very intrigued by this, Diego. I'm very intrigued.
Yeah, this is very strange organic technology that you've come across.
Mm-hmm.
Is that crate, by the way, our resources that the scouts pulled out?
No, they just found a box in the building and pulled it out.
Great. I would like to investigate that box to make sure it isn't gonna like explode or something. Then could I open it while the others around with the flesh gun.
You open it up and you see a mummified corpse.
Oh, lovely. Is it humanoid or is it alien?
It is definitely alien.
Is it anything easily recognizable or something completely, like, out there?
So there's some things to note. One, it's about the size of a small human child.
Okay.
It's mummified.
Lovely.
It has a small pair of secondary arms. So this is
Oh,
a
does it have
four-armed
six-
creature.
Does it have 6 limbs?
It
total?
doesn't. That is 6 limbs total.
Mm-hmm.
And it has some minor jewelry adorning the body.
Okay, so it has intelligence. So this is I should say, an intelligent species.
Yes, but you also notice that there's mushrooms growing off of it.
Okay. Can I very carefully, with like, a surgical knife or scalpel, cut off those mushrooms, see if those are like symbiotic or parasitic?
You cut off one of the mushrooms, pull it off, and you can see that it has dug roots deep into this corpse.
Okay, it is parasitic in nature then.
Yes, you get the feeling that this corpse was infected with mushrooms, because it is almost dehydrated.
Okay.
Completely. Like, there is no
Lovely.
moisture left in this mummy of a corpse.
Okay, Ark, after basically confirming that this thing was not probably what spread the spores, because what creature that would spread a fungi like this would be killed and dried out by it in tandem, Ark basically, calls over Kadrian. Any idea what this is? Well, other than a corpse, obviously. Species?
He doesn't say anything, but you can see one of the medical mechadendrite he has mounted slowly reach out, hover above the corpse, and lowers as the needle goes into the skin.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
A very mushy, viscous liquid fills up the syringe. As he pulls out the needle and starts to analyze it.
Okay.
I don't know what noises a needle would make as it's doing a genetic analysis, but it makes a noise.
Mechanicus
Handras-
noises.
Handros looks to you and says, "This does not match any identified or cataloged Xenos species."
Interesting. So, that means whatever this species was, given it was not the one that spread the fungus, it could have potentially been the one that built this architecture.
He nods. Further analysis is required. Surrender the flesh gun to me, and I shall see to it that it is fully analyzed.
Ark looks over to where Grant and Beck are currently fucking around with the flesh gun. You'll have to take that up with the boss man, unfortunately. As much influence as I have, and as much as it's ill-advised to flaunt organic technology, he shoots a pointed look. That's not a decision that's finalized for me to make.
Adrian Handros nods and lumbers on over to Grant. He looks down at you expectantly, as if he just expects you to hand over the gun.
Beck,
A
give it to him.
flesh gun.
I'm gonna assume Beck. I'm gonna assume Beck surrenders the gun.
Beck, I noticed you took a very unique interest in the armor.
The flesh cloak?
Yeah.
It is made. Oh, actually, now that thank you for bringing it up to me. Ark, how do I say this? You know how I said this cloak was skinned from something?
Does it look like it was skinned from the same material of the mummified corpse?
Yep.
Art kind of looks to where the box was with the corpse, looks to the flesh cloak that's being, identified by the Macus, and then looks to Grant. Is this a good time to mention that cloak is made from skin of the previously native Xenos species of this planet?
That
I hate
is
this planet. I hate this
the-
planet. I hate this
That is
planet.
interesting to know. Alrighty. So, yeah. Take
Also,
it to
is my mic
analysis.
cutting out on your guys' end, or is it just Discord UI being weird for me?
I think it's
UI.
Discord being weird because every now and then people keep people cut out in and out every now and then for me.
Yeah,
Okay.
same here.
Stroke sometimes.
That it does.
Unfortunately.
I mean, try making a new VC. See if that works.
Does everyone want to switch to... Wait, do you guys have access to God's development room?
No.
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 Where?
Here, so we could try switching channels, or I could just make a new one.
It
You
might
should probably
help.
just try
We'll stick
making a
with
new
this.
one.
Game room 2. Okay, new channel, everyone switch over.
Yay.
That's not.
That's a text
not-
channel.
That's a text channel,
Ah.
Diego.
Didn't select the right one.
Yes, I do know how to use Discord. Thank you for asking. Everyone go there now.
Great.
Yay.
Art kind of looks to where the skid cloak is and then back to back. Well, given that anti-plant grenades are currently being, I'm hoping tested, the chemical mixture at least, on the fungi, we should hopefully be able to get rid of at least some of it fairly soon, though, he kind of looks. I'm assuming the same thing that left the fungi here probably made the flesh weapons, as they're the only organic material that doesn't seem to be infected. Additionally,
I'm okay with blowing this planet from orbit.
absolutely not. As I've already explained, the Imperial Navy strategy of nuking the fungus would be a horrible idea. It's heat resistant and it releases spores when exposed to extreme temperatures, meaning that all that would do is infest the entire planet.
I'm
But if
alright
the
with
planet
that.
doesn't exist.
Ark looks to ZZ. Are we
Bet
really?
nods to ZZ. Right idea.
That is not your decision, and then last I remembered, you are not the one who has clearance to fire an orbital laser strike. Now, as I was saying, I think it's safe to assume, given that the organic weaponry is the only organic material that the fungi hasn't eaten away. Art kind of looks at the distinct lack of plant life. And the fact that it appears to eat other sorts of organic material due to the fact that I found a mummified corpse. Well, mummified in quotation marks, more like dehydrated badly from fungal remains. Whatever species brought the fungus here probably also made the flesh weapons. In addition, a different Xenos creature entirely made this architecture, probably whatever unidentified species of the corpse I found.
Adrian Handros looks up from his analysis and says, "This planet is still viable for colonization."
It is?
Yeah. Yeah, it
Fuck
is.
the planet.
Get rid of the fungi once we figure out the correct chemical solution to douse the entire thing in a chemical wash, quarantine off the area, and there's no reason why the rest of the planet can't be habitable.
This is true. This is true.
I
Lord
still
Captain?
vote for-
Lord Captain, what is your ultimate decision on what to do with the Xeno ruins?
The Xeno runes. I would. What I want to do is have that section be quarantined and figure out whatever this fungal is, and for every soldier who is doing for this quarantine, to be armed with vegetation grenades.
Noted. Give me a second. I'm just fiddling around with something right now.
I also would like the AdMech to synthesize something that would be able to purge this infection. If not, we'll just turn the entire place into a massive crater.
What did
Okay.
I say about nuking the fungus, Lord Captain?
So I was joking.
Ark basically does a scar-like roll of his eyes while, basically face-palming the, I'm surrounded by idiots.
You love us.
Correction. I love all of you but one.
Me?
No, Beck.
The
No, I
one
don't-
who
I
tried
don't
to
think it's
kill
you.
me the other day.
Oh, right. That was
Yeah.
a month will pass.
Yeah.
You'll get over it.
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
So, with
Yes.
this in mind, and the Lord Captain's consent to quarantine the area and clear out the fungus, I assume?
Yeah.
Fuck the fungus.
Kill the fungus.
About an hour passes before the first ship from the shuttle from the Velvet Glove lands with the, thankfully, the first batch of chemical grenades. You all watch as several heavy flamers are modified to use these defoliants.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay.
Essentially making very big chem sprayers.
Admech moment.
And watch from a safe distance as your men begin to defoliate the area.
Of the fungus.
Yes, fortunately, the fungus dies out relatively quickly upon contact to the new chemical pesticide. Or herbicide. It's more of a herbicide. It's not really a fungicide. Mycosinide? No, that's not it. That's a herbicide. We'll just call it herbicide. The souped up herbicide does its job really quickly, and you guys basically clear up the ruins. A quarantine and a no-fly zone is established over the entire area. And you guys now have a profitable site. The Xenos ruins can provide a abundance of resources and materials should you continue to send expeditions in here to keep looking for shit, because the stuff that Cadmium and ZZ found here can fetch a pretty price with the right people once it's been determined to be safe.
Ah, so we're just investing in the cold trade now, I see.
Well, I mean, it's extra money.
Yeah, and technically, rogue traders are allowed to invest in the cold trade with proper documentation and sanctioning. But it's also not the most legal thing outside of Footfall.
On the other hand,
goes
though,
at Footfall.
On the other hand, though, you could just find a legal buyer within the Imperium itself who would compensate you for recovering these technologies. Handross is just the engineer of your ship. If you got into contact with, say, the Lathes, or the Inquisition, or heck, even
I was gonna say the Inquisition would probably pay a fancy price to be able to research and confiscate these goods.
Same with the Adeptus Mechanicus of the Lathes.
Yeah.
So you have a number of options for who to sell to, besides the criminal cold trade. So, you guys have uncovered the Xenos ruins of Pranox Alpha. Do note that there are some smaller settlements scattered around as well, but all of them have thankfully been found to be mushroom-free.
Yay! Mushroom-free!
Are there any other regions of the planet you would like to explore?
I think we're good for now.
Okay. Everyone turn to page 63 of the slides, please.
Okay.
As I get around to playing this soundtrack.
Yay, music.
Yes, it's more ambience, but less,
grim and dark and creepy.
Yes, this is
less, flesh gunny.
Everyone in 63?
Yes.
This is what the rest of Pranax Alpha looks like, at least the central area around the equator.
It's not too bad.
Yeah. The birds are singing, the flowers are blooming, and somewhere out there, a very angry Farseer is cursing one Arcturus Magellan.
Oh no!
But here on Pranox Alpha, you guys enjoy a planet that isn't actively trying to kill you. There is no monsters chasing you. There are no rival competitors. There's just serenity. It's not like the same as when you were standing on Lille Fionad for the first time. But you guys feel fairly comfy here. You think to yourselves, yes, this is a planet that humanity can thrive on. This is a planet we can call our own. We can turn this into a thriving hub of industry and progress. And then you hear the screeching.
Oh.
And the screeching is pointed to that small pterodactyl-like creature in the picture. You're not sure if it's a mating call or just a warning or just the noise it makes, but the Pronoxy Screechback has no material value. There is nothing worth, exploiting it for. It doesn't have any, special oil that it exudes or any specially colored feathers or anything. It's just very loud. And yet this Pronoxy Screechbat and its incessant screeching reminds you that sometimes paradise has to be taken with a grain of salt. Everyone turn to page 62.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry.
Oh.
I want to settle down here.
That's
Scouts
a desert.
Scouts bring back picked recordings of the planet's southern reaches. A mountainous region that covers most of the southern hemisphere. Most of the mountains and, more inhospitable areas are centered around the south of the planet. It's pretty cold. And you do notice that, there's very tall mountains. Mountains that eclipse the size of hive cities. And it's a very inspiring sight, as your scouts report in and send in picked recordings of them atop the tallest peaks of this mountain ranges, planting the Aquila and the banner of House Silverwind next to each other. The initial geological survey indicates that this planet is rich in minerals. Very rich in minerals.
Oh, fuck yeah.
The southern reach appears to be home to a number of industrial metals that can be quite vital to the void ship industry. But said materials can also go into making, armored vehicles or even basic las guns. However, they also report that there is a vicious creature that likes to lurk in this area of the planet. The creature, which is described as slightly larger than the average man and about the size of an ogre, is a very terrifying and ruthless killer that has wiry and very rapid tentacles tipped with a very potent poison.
The
Pronoxy
poison.
The Pronoxy Venom Stalker.
Oh.
Allow me to upload a picture for your benefit under Rogue Trader Central.
They kill one.
Photos. Let me see. Where do I have the image for the Venom Stalker? It's not here. Shit, did I... give me a second. Did I upload this or... No, it doesn't look like it. I need to do this. Share PNG and upload to Discord. Rogue Trader Central. Okay, let's see if it works from there. Rogue Trader Central is the image there? Yep.
Oh.
Oh, big lad!
Did that match the cloak or armor we found?
The
No.
armor was made out of the Xenos race that made the ruins.
Alright, so difference.
The Pronoxy Venom Stalker is possibly the closest analog to an apex predator this planet has.
Hmm.
Did they kill
For-
him?
Fortunately, the corpse they brought in shows that this creature's main defenses lie in the very potent venom it carries. Beyond this, it bleeds, and it was killed quite easily when it was cornered in a rocky crevasse.
Can,
Hmm.
can I extract its venom?
That's the fun part. The the trade kernel indicates that this type of creature can be hunted for its venom,
Oh,
and
yeah.
perhaps even exported. Many a galactic menagerie and, gladiator arena would pay handsomely for a fearsome creature such as this.
Ooh,
Oh, big
so
chonk.
so a species we could poach.
Yes, you can poach this creature quite easily. However, there needs to be special precautions taken because hunting these things are dangerous. As your team barely made it out alive trying to hunt just the one. And until you have a good indicator of how... one guy is pretty out of it because he was infected with the venom.
Mm-hmm.
He's doing okay in stable condition for now.
Hmm.
But you get the feeling that until you have a good read on how many of these things there are, you might need to hold off on any poaching operations.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, the venom it produces and the beast itself can be a profitable source of revenue for this planet.
Hmm.
Everyone turn to page 61.
Yeah.
Missing 2 people. Is everyone on page 61 of the slides?
Except for Anonymous Panda.
Okay, that's... No, that's everyone. Oh, that's the wrong one.
Ah! Unidentified Xenos Void Station!
65! It's page 65!
Nice.
So I know we're doing this.
I'm sorry, Diego.
That is on me. You guys know what's... Okay, never mind. We're just moving on.
Okay.
The Northern Wastes!
Wait,
Wait,
you mean there's not an unidentified Xenos Void Station on this planet?
wait, oh. Oh, shoot.
Oh no.
The captions are wrong.
Oh.
Uh, Northern Race. Yeah, these are the actual southern reaches. Okay, so this mountainous area, that's where you find the venom stalkers.
That's where you find the funny things that I could turn into needle pistol ammo.
Page 62 is where you find the freezing canyons and radioactive materials.
Woo.
And yeah. So these are the 4 main areas of Pranox Alpha.
Hmm.
Lord Captain, where do you want to drop off the Santarks? The Northern Wastes, the Central Plains, or the Southern Reaches?
Hmm.
This will influence how the colony develops.
As much as I want to drop them in front of the Xeno ruins for the funny and tell them to stay there, I think I'll probably give them the planes.
As the first landing shuttles, arrive to the Central Plains and the Santarks are let out, a lot of them look happy to be on dry land again.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a melancholy to them. This is not their home. The home that their people have known for generations is no longer.
Mm-hmm.
The Eldar have cut it off forever for the rest of the galaxy, so there is no going back. But as they take their first steps onto the Central Plains, they're reminded of how much worse things could have been. They look around and they nod to themselves. This could be our new home. This isn't heaven. But someday it could be. I mean, once you get past the lack of, no disease, the heightened longevity, the jewels buried beneath the sands, and the super salmon. Oh, they're gonna miss the super salmon. Oh, the good news, the screech bats are actually pretty tasty. Chewy, but tasty.
Yippee!
And to replace the strange necklace jewels they used to wear, you notice that some of them begin to wear feathers. You inquire about this, and they reveal that there's another type of bird that likes to live on these plains. The Pronoxy flycatcher. A small bird that has very brilliantly colored plumage. Analysis indicates that these flycatchers have a very rich diet of insects native to this area. And that because of the rich soil, the insects are loaded with nutrients, and thus the birds that eat them develop very colorful feathers.
Okay.
You get the feeling that gathering these feathers could be a profitable venture in itself. Imperial High Society is all about the latest fashion trend, after all. Whether it's brilliant crux gems encrusted in solid gold augments, or xenopelts gathered from the ferocious, dire wolves of far-off death worlds, you figure that Pronoxy flycatcher feathers could be the next big Imperial fad.
Cool.
Osmond, the archdeacon of your ship, and his podium person, also disembark, and the first tents erected on these plains, he stands before them pontificating of the benevolence of the God Emperor of mankind, how his chosen agents delivered the Santarks from damnation, from the path of ignorance and heresy, to a new humble home. A home that will be humble and reshaped in the image of the God Emperor. Pranox Alpha and the Santarks will be one and the same. The untapped potential of both of these things will be unlocked and brought to fruition by the work of the rogue trader and his retinue. Turo, no longer wearing the robes of leadership among his people, listens in awe to Osmond as he looks up and sees a true leader, one who inspires by his words and his actions. Remind me again, who was the other Santark leader you guys came across? I forgot their name.
It was
The
the girl.
kid.
The girl who
What?
captured the slaver.
Tessa!
Tessa, yeah.
Tessa,
Tessa,
also,
who is not a girl, because their gender was unconfirmed.
their gender is none.
Yeah, like I said, the kid.
Like easy.
Yeah, basically like Zizi, they're non-binary. Tessa also listens on, and doesn't look as sold as Turo. But Tessa does look you in the eye, Grant, and nod. They may not buy into the Imperial faith. Ever. But they will pay lip token service to it. As the Imperial faith has done something that they hadn't anticipated. It's given their people hope. Hope that by the sweat and blood and their tears of the Santarks, they can make something of this planet and themselves. There's a life after heaven. And it starts on this verdant planet And that's all there needs to be said. You'd leave behind a small garrison of troops, of course. For security purposes, but a number of them seem to be, quite happy to be on the surface of this planet. The Santarks have protection now. And guidance. And with a couple of tech priests on hand, it'll be a while for a colony to start up, but at the very least, an outpost can be erected on this planet. Full colonization will require much more resources and a lot more manpower. Things you can acquire elsewhere. As you all board the Velvet Glove, having finished your survey of Pranox Alpha, everyone turn to page 61 for real this time.
The unidentified Xenos Void Station.
The Velvet Glove loops around to the unidentified object hanging in this system. A very large, decrepit, and circular station, completely shaped like a sphere. Gunmetal gray, with a single red line running to the side of it. Void Breachers and Voidsmen breach the station with the help of Beck and Grunt. The ship is empty. There are no signs of life. Fortunately, quick examination by Cadium and Kadrian Handros reveal that this is a monitoring station. Technology analogous to Imperial auger relays and auspexes were pointed at the settlement you guys uncovered before. The design of the ship does not match anything like what you found on the colony below. But you do find trace organic samples aboard the station that match the flesh weapons you found before. And more disturbingly, one of the station's cargo holds is full of dormant mushroom spores.
Don't like that.
Cadium, can you please reseal and add another lock to that door?
Sure thing.
Thank you.
Handros begins communicating with his servants, and the verdict is clear. The station should be scuttled. But not before as much information about it can be gleaned from it.
Mm-hmm.
Handros...
Scuttled?
As in destroyed.
Ah, okay. Twice.
When you scuttle a ship, scuttling a ship means you destroy it so that the enemy can't get a hold of it. Like, you deliberately sink the boat.
I see.
Adrian Handros, after a course of several days, where your ship hovering over this station, guns at the ready, voidsmen in and out, tech priests working around the clock to learn as much as they can. Several days pass, and Kadrian Handros comes to you with the following conclusion. The aliens who designed this station are not the same ones who you found on the planet below. What you witnessed was the end result of an invasion force, attacking this planet. An unknown belligerent Xenos species found this world and its local alien inhabitants, and waged bloody biological warfare on its settlements. It left behind the mushrooms to overtake the central city settlement, whatever it is. And the station was left behind to monitor the growth of the mushrooms. To what end and to what purpose, no one knows. The cogitators and databanks of the station have been wiped clean, and there are no signs of anything living on this station other than the humans poking around. There is a new power player in this sector of the Cronus Expanse. Forget the orcs of Undred Teeth, the Eldar forces of Kalor, the myriad chaos warbands operating out of the many pits and crevices of the Expanse. And forget the rat goal. Something else lives in the Cronus Expanse and has been here undetected for centuries. An unknown threat has emerged. What that threat is, what it wants, and what it looks like is beyond all of you. It is abundantly clear now that if you are to create a colony on Pranox, you will need significant defenses around it. Because whoever put up the station might just come in for a progress report sooner rather than later.
Will be what the Krieg is for.
The rest of the survey of the Pranox system goes off without a hitch. Pranox Gamma, the reddish planet on the map, is rocky, barren, and a very low and thin atmosphere. It would be impossible to breathe on your own. Breathers would be needed every waking minute you spent outside. However, you do glean from the geological survey that there are some mineral deposits worth exploiting. Furthermore, a large cache of promethium fuels were found in the central deserts. A refinery can be put up here to extract and create promethium, enough to supply the colony you could build on Pranox Alpha. Pranox Majoris, the gas giant on the outskirts of the system, is just that, a gas giant. No rings, but a single barren moon without any life or oxygen. Not much can be made of it, but perhaps a discreet observation post can be built here to monitor traffic coming in and out of the system. Pranox Minoris, the smaller planet, is dead. Inhospitable. Very weak gravity. It barely qualifies as a planet. Not much strategic value there. Pranox Delta has some trapped water on it, actually. Water along the north and southern poles, trapped in ice. Beyond that, the planet is mostly barren, much like Minoris. But still, having an extra source of water can't hurt at all. And finally, the southern asteroid clusters. Rich in minerals, also ripe for exploitation. All in all, Pranox as a solar system is rich in material wealth. Minerals, waters, xenobeasts, and enough arable land to feed a small city. Overall, this place has a lot of untapped potential to it. Well, so, that's pretty good, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
You got a very nice little solar system all to yourselves. Eventually, beacons are set up to establish that this planet and its surrounding worlds belongs to House Silverwind. Enough supplies are left with the Santark colonists and their security detail, and the ship begins its journey to Footfall. That
Shopping
glorious. What?
Shopping montage?
Yes.
Yay.
That glorious hive of scum and villainy.
Oh, can't wait to unload all this profit arc.
Or kind of looks at basically is running through the manifest. Oh, it's gonna take more than 24 hours, I'll tell you that.
Right.
Here's the good thing, though. Remember how last time you were only at Footfall for like a day at most?
Yeah, now we get
Yeah.
to resupply for an entire Deep Void run.
Yep.
Woohoo! Which means we're gonna be there for at least a month. That shit takes time.
I wonder what kind of crazy shenanigans will get involved here.
As the ship exits the warp, everyone turn back to page. Ooh, we're going to go all the way back to the start of the slides. Everyone turn back to page 9 of the slides.
Oh, that long
Woo,
ago.
Back to Fur Abundance! Woohoo!
Also, just a warning. My back's acting up again, so if I get really really quiet, have Skid call me.
Okay.
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 I think we're just doing shopping right now.
Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I gotta
Ow, my
get the
back.
list.
Is everyone on page 9?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm pulling out the shopping list.
Let me just change the colors on this guy.
I will also be pulling out my shopping list.
I didn't make one.
Oh my gosh, it's the
I constantly have
Krieg.
one.
You guys do detect that the Krieg is docked on Footfall, but you also notice something else docked at Footfall. Allow me to
Lord
pull
Admiral
up.
Steel.
Allowed me to pull up the image for the Emperor's Vow.
Oh, that's
Ooh.
not Lord Admiral Bastille.
Okay.
I'm sorry, the what?
That's not Lord Admiral Bastille.
That's not.
Emperor's Vow, I believe, is a different ship, but
Well-
belonging to another rogue trader.
Isn't it? Is it the Winter Scales?
Hang on. Send a copy. Everyone go to Rogue Traders. Actually, this is gonna go under.
Other NPCs.
Yes, it's if I can find a channel.
Let me at you. Oh shit! I just dropped my empty bottle of water. Oh, that works.
Other
that is a
NPCs, you guys see it?
Full fucking frigate. God damn. Or not frigate. That's a full fucking cruiser. God damn.
Yes, that is the Emperor's Vow.
Massive lad.
Yeah.
Yes, give me a second.
Chonker even.
You recognize this indeed as another Rogue Trader vessel. Give me a second. Save to photos. Give me a second. I just need to crop the image a bit. I want someone to make me a common lore Imperium test.
I have that +10. If anyone else has that.
I have it at basics, so yeah, roll before me. Will.
Okay. Alrighty.
If you fail, I can try, but
No. I got a fate point to spend.
Rude.
Let's see. Let me
And it
double check.
appears you may be spending it.
My intelligence +10. So yeah, I would have to spend a fate point.
You can. How does the help action work again? Does that provide a bonus?
It adds a +10. I don't have training in the skill.
Shame.
I only have it at basic.
Well, no, wait. You're a seneschal. You should know this.
I'm a seneschal. I don't have common lore Imperium, but if we're just giving it to me because I'm a seneschal, then hell yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah. So would that be enough for you to pass the test, Will?
If I
If
got a +10,
if we added
then
a
yeah.
+10, yeah.
Well, I decided to spend the fate point, and I got rolled a 9.
So yeah,
then-
Grant's fine.
Yeah, pass. What? Hang on. Oh, that's because it's not the right thing.
Hmm.
I have everyone switch to the music bot for this one.
Oogie. Big lad.
Docked on Footfall is a massive Imperial vessel, one that is the victor of many armed conflicts throughout the Coronis Expanse. The red right hand of Winterscale's domain.
Yup. Okay, it is Winter Scale.
It is the personal flagship of the Winterscale Dynasty,
God damn.
which means that by law, Footfall belongs to him. As the preeminent rogue trader of Footfall, Caligos Winterscale controls it. The Liege of Footfall, Vladayam Takara, will be subservient to him. As you dock on the vessel, the station proper, you can see the banners of House Winterscale flying in the hangars of the station. When your personal shuttle lands, you are greeted by an honor guard of soldiers in stark black and red uniforms bearing the emblem of House Winterscale.
Greetings.
The soldiers do not say anything, but they part as a very tall, broad-shouldered man walks forward, accompanied by a strange, serpentine-like alien. A navigator, an arch-militant with pale skin, and a very short, balding man in blue. Everyone turn to other NPCs. With a crooked grin, a master-crafted power axe hanging off his belt, and a deranged look in his eyes, you stand before one of the greatest rogue traders of the Coronis Expanse. Well, butter my biscuits and call me a bastard. Hello there, useless.
Salt greetings.
Let me just,
I was very tempted to call him like a bastard. I was very tempted to say that.
The man before you is larger than life, and not just because of his size. Caligos Winterscale, the Fist of the Imperium, and one of the most powerful men in the Cronus Expanse. This guy exudes strength. His posture, his weaponry, his attire, the way he looks down at you, Grant. His alien mercenary sizes you all up, and it deems you irrelevant. The navigator looks towards Zizi and chuckles. A novice compared to a true master of the warp. His seneschal sizes you all up as well, writing down notes onto his data slate. Even the tech priest at his side disdainfully stares at Cadium. Her mechadendrites are of a far higher quality than your own, Cadium.
If I could flip her off with a mechadendrite right now, I would.
Don't do that. Ark would in
Well, I
fact shove
can't.
you
I
to
don't
get
have middle
killed.
fingers. I don't have middle fingers on my mechadendrites. I can't do that.
Cadium
I
has
would if
his
I
hands,
could.
though.
He knows better.
Does he?
In this moment.
Anyway, Winterscale sizes you up, Grant, and says, "I've heard a lot about you, useless. Tell me then, young blood, is it true what they say?"
What would I need to confirm?
He asks for me to confirm. Rule number 1, young blood, don't. You want to get to it up top? Don't ask for confirmation. Own it. I've heard about you and your crew. Found the Dread Pearl, didn't you?
That we did.
I hear you had to leave it behind.
That is also true.
He gives you a tisking noise. You should have fought to the end, my friend. You should have spilt all that new blood of yours on that planet, rather than let some pansy elves take it for themselves. But who can blame you? You're richer now, aren't you? More experienced. You ain't gonna make that mistake again, are you?
Grant is getting a little frustrated that he's basically being goaded to prove himself. So, for right now, Grant is going to go. It goes. What was his last statement he said to me?
Winter scale.
No. His statement. Like, what did he say?
He calls you young blood.
And then from there, he's gonna. So Grant's gonna go. I've handled my fair share of what the galaxy had to throw at me, and with my retinue, we're able to handle a lot more.
I like you. For now, anyways. You've got guts. But that's not enough. You need the killing edge. His hand rests on his power axe, and you can see it is very well made, and there's blood dripping off of it right now. He looks very, very belligerent. But he's still sizing you up. So, what do you think you're doing on my station, young blood? I doubt you came here to try and prove yourself to me, after all.
Came here for some relaxed, some R&R, and to unload our vast riches that we have encountered.
Yeah. I hear you got off with a pretty nice score. I also heard the funniest thing.
That being?
That uniform isn't for show. You really are from Krieg?
Death Rider, born and raised.
He gives you a very maniacal grin. Ugh. You ain't just useless, are you? You found a whole new purpose. Tell me, when you die for the Emperor... Traitor.
Can you repeat that? My internet cut out. All I heard was when I die for the Emperor.
When you die for the Emperor, are you gonna go out like a Krieger or a rogue traitor?
I am going to go out as Grant. On my own terms.
Impressive. Impressive how little you impress upon me that you mean business. What, you think you're hot shit because you got a whole ship full of treasure? Buddy, that's just pocket change for me. You want to know the truth about the Coronis Expanse?
Do enlighten me.
Everything is going to try to kill you. I am going to try to kill you. Corda will try to kill you. Even Vladium, the so-called Liege of Footfall, will try to kill you. Your own men? They'll try to kill you. The planet you visit. The stars you sail by. The man who cooks your food. They're all going to try to kill you. You want to die as Grant? Lower your guard. Relax, just for a bit. And next thing you know, your heir gets to call himself Rogue Trader, and he'll go out that same way too. You wanna know the secret to success in the Cronus Expanse? Kill them first. No mercy, no capitulation, no weakness. You've got a lot to go, boy. And trust me, I'll be keeping an eye on you. Rogue traders are few, but we know how to hedge our bets. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small metal chip. He flicks it over to you. There's a spot for us in the Adeptus Amazecus. You'll find it. You'll hear the little wives' tales, and you'll hear all the rest of them gloating and bragging about their latest haul or conquest. And when you get out, you're going to realize you're not that special, even as a rogue trader. So, put in the hours, and maybe, just maybe, when we meet again, I'll actually be impressed. Good luck, Useless. You're gonna need it, young blood.
I am
He looks toward-
tempted to shoot him in his fucking face.
I hate this guy.
I am
Mark
very...
looks like he's chomping at the bit to say something, but has the composure and the, how do I put this? Survival instinct to keep his mouth shut.
Anyway,
Caligos sizes up the rest of your retinue. The rest of you. If you live long enough for our next encounter, drinks are on me. I'd love to hear what you have to say about your, adventures. And maybe if you impress me, there'll be a spot for you on my crew. I hate to see talent wasted, after all. He looks back to Grant. So, you gonna try and impress me? Or you're just gonna stand there, waiting for me to stop talking so you can get in a word in edgewise?
Ark basically just, like, obviously, like, casually balling his fist under his cloak, just lets out a long sigh. By your own logic, and I mean this with no disrespect, sir. If you're supposed to kill everything first and other rogue traders are out for your heads, why are we still breathing?
He looks at you and gives you a very slight but approving nod. Just because we can, doesn't mean we should. And just because we should, doesn't mean we can. I'm sorry. And besides, there's enough bad blood between me and the rest of our little niche community. I got bigger fish to fry than you anyways. That bitch Corda is still trying to push me out of Lucent's breath. You guys are barely a blip on my radar.
Grant's gonna go... The last thing on our minds is to impress you. And for now, words I'll talk is cheap. I'll let my actions speak for itself and my retinue. So now that you're done, so are you done blustering?
That's what I like about all you young bloods. You think you're hot grox shit. And most of the time that's all you are. Grox shit. I'll keep an eye on you. You'll need friends after all. Next time we meet...
So as soon as the voice says that, I go, you call my retinue like that, so that one more time and we're gonna have a real problem.
Before as you say that, the alien mercenary slithers up next to Caligos' side, and it looks really ready for. And it looks like it's also looking forward for a fight. But Caligos dismissively lifts a hand to brush it aside.
Diego, is that a straight up rackle at his side, by the way?
No, it is a different creature entirely. It has a very snake-like body, 4 arms, and yellow eyes.
Okay, because rackle are also very snake-like in nature.
Yeah, but this one does not have legs.
Okay.
Caligos just looks to you all and says, "Very well. I was about ready to leave. I got a little hunting expedition out by the 100 Teeth. Orcs. Navy likes to pay a pretty penny for each rock you blow up. So, if that concludes our business," he gives you a very dismissive bow. "The station is yours, Lord Captain." He turns to the rest of his men. "All right, you maggots. Prepare to ship. We leave by the hour. And, Lord Captain Grant?"
Yes.
"I look forward to when we fight it on the battlefield. Allies, enemies, it doesn't matter. All that matters is the fight. And you got a lot of fight in you. Don't lose that spark. I look forward to seeing it in action." With that, Winterscale and his retinue walk away as his soldiers in unison march off to their own shuttle. At the end of the hour, the Emperor's Vow leaves the system entirely, ready to go on a little excursion at the 100 Teeth. Legal authority and control of Footfall falls back to you, Lord Grant, as the only ranking Lord Captain in the system.
As he's like fully out of like earshot, Grant is gonna turn around. He's gonna go, "We're not on the bridge, so fuck that guy." And then he goes,
I hope his machine spirits turn against him.
I was waiting for you to say chakra.
I was very tempted, but we are not in the position to challenge him yet.
I would like to point out that House Winterscale is like
Yeah.
a lot bigger than Silverwind.
Ark
Exactly.
basically looks to Grant. "Yeah, since we're not on the bridge, that's the fucking leader of House Winterscale. You're really picking a fight with the biggest house in the Expanse?"
He insulted my retinue. Anyways, we'll still
Grant
carve a
loves
name out
us.
for ourselves. Oh, and
Sir,
if you do,
he has an entire sector of the Expanse named after him. I'd
I
wait
know.
a little while.
Yeah, I'm not-
It's actually named after his grandpa, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, you get the point, though.
yeah, but Grant's gonna go like he goes. That will mean nothing once we're able to fight man to man, but not now.
So, I shoot him in the face next time we meet, right?
If we have,
Yeah.
well, let's. If it feels like we have nothing else to do but fight, we'll fight. But if we can find a way to get out of it, I'm gonna take it.
As much as an
This navigator's
asshole
really
as
passive aggressive.
as much as an asshole as he may be, having the military and financial support, even just a chunk, from House Winterscale, is a potentially worthy endeavor to pursue. Hate the guy or not.
Great. We're still making it on our own. Let's focus on ourselves before we focus on the greater things. Oh, and if I find out if he poaches any of you, I will write a very, very, very mean letter of recommendation. Anyways, let's go.
I mean, I don't plan on leaving.
Art kind of mutters to himself in the Administratum tongue, which he does have now technically in canon. Wouldn't be the first fucking time.
They'd have to drag me by my mechadendrites.
I mean, you have a lot of them now, so
Yeah.
Art kind of looks back to Cadium. Wait, the rest of you weren't poached from your original positions?
No. Technically, I was recommended for this position. I'm pretty sure. Now, this could be wrong. I worked too hard
I'm an
and
apprentice,
got
so no.
bored. I'm pretty sure back on Mars they called me something of a prodigy. But
Art
They're
just
definitely
lets
kept
out a
Sarah Bradley.
very long sigh. Great. Well, I'm going to need to have a word to the trade colonel about some of the contents of one of the letters he wrote me while we were in communication, because apparently that was a blatant lie. You see him kind of, just, shake his head. Whatever. Honestly, this is better than my old job anyway. But I could do without antagonizing every major house in the Expanse.
I thought that was the point
part
of
of the
a
job.
road trader.
Cadium kind of looks off into space, kind of just I didn't do that.
And
I don't
Ark
have
looks
enemy
to
fact word on my
Cadium.
character sheet.
Art
Yeah.
looks to Cadium, and you
I mean,
You
Beck says
try
it
and
was
assassinate
the
me.
point.
You
Make enemies.
No, Cadium. You have one more attempt on my life, and you're going to find 2 Inferno pistol rounds buried in that newly augmented skull of yours. You understand me?
It's not newly augmented. It was augmented 3 years ago. But yeah, I get it.
I don't shoot first, Cadium. But you try and kill me again and I will shoot last.
You do aim first.
And yet, I didn't fire. If I hadn't disarmed your little explosive devices, you'd be in the
Fireworks.
void right now.
So,
Technically, we're always in the void.
Can you-
So-
I'll raise you one better then, Cadium. Art kind of tilts his head. You'd be a servitor right now.
That's fine.
So, as the crew of the Velvet Glove disembark, the mighty bowels of the Velvet Glove are cleaned out of treasure and gemstones.
Yummy.
Riches untold, and worlds unseen, and word of how Silverwind and their run-in with the legendary Caligos Winterscale spread throughout the station like wildfire. As the preeminent power of the Footfall, you all are poised to stake your claim in a now more receptive Footfall. The denizens of Furibundus are yours to command for now.
Would there be
You are
whispers?
master-
Oh, sorry.
You are masters and stewards of the station as long as you stay here and keep the peace, as outlined in the ancient charters unofficially made by the various lieges of Footfall.
And as long as Winterscale doesn't show back up.
Yeah, but he's off to the Undred Teeth, which is,
Way far
In its-
away. Yeah.
in on itself a rather suicidal task, because that is essentially a series of planets infested with orcs.
With orcs. Yeah.
And this is where we will be ending off the station, with you guys back on Footfall, with enough time to restock, resupply, do shopping, and hopefully, just hopefully, secure the support needed to colonize Krynox Alpha.
And
Will you-
recruit for Krieg?
And recruit more colonists, yes. So the question remains, who will you choose as your sponsor? The Cognizance Fleet, represented by Opticon 22? Or the Brotherhood of St. Drusus, led by a brother Hieronymus Doloroso? Or will you cut a backroom deal with Vladimir Takara, representative of the Cold Train and the Kasbalika mission? Or will you go on an orthodox route and seek support from the Imperial Navy itself? Because they do maintain a patrol squadron in the area. Who will you go to secure the funding and the resources needed to make your throne world? And more importantly, will you find a bolter that wasn't made on Footfall?
Mm.
Find out next time on Rogue Trader.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be the end of our session.
Yay.
Say
That was
goodbye to the
very-
recording.
Yeah.
Bye.
recording.
Find a vulture that wasn't made on Footfall.
Yeah.